Well, hello, everybody. It's been a while since Scream Gay Horror has been here with you all, and it's a Sunday night, and we are talking about the Scream franchise. And by the way, happy October to you all. I hope you all are having a wonderful October, and I hope you have a happy Halloween week coming up. I can't believe we're going into the last week of October. It's just so crazy to think about that. But it's me, Justin Ryan, 1988, and I am with my partner on this podcast, and that is Todd. Todd, how are you, bud?
I'm doing great, Justin. How you doing?
Doing great, bud. Doing great. How's your October been?
It's been good. I finally, this past weekend, I finally got to do some Halloween activities and got to go to a corn maze and go see a scary movie. And next weekend, there's a Halloween party that we're hosting here at my house. And so I'm really looking forward to Halloween's my favorite time of year. I always look forward to all the Halloween decorations, all the shenanigans that come with the time of year.
Oh, mine too. It's amazing. My only downfall, I don't know about you, is I feel like it just went by way too quick. Like this month has just flown by. So like I can't believe we're going into the last week of October. So
then it'll be about Christmas.
I know, it's crazy. So crazy to think the holidays are just like here, and it's just insane. Well, hello. Let's talk movies and stuff. How are you? How's it going? And everybody, thank you. I see some people popping in the live. Welcome, everybody. It's been a while since me and Todd got to do this. It's been about 4 weeks since our last one. So it was about time that we did it. And I'm so excited to talk with Todd about, is this your favorite franchise? Would you say it's your favorite franchise of all time or one of your favorites?
I would say it's probably my favorite because I rank all my favorite franchises, and there's Harry Potter, Hunger Games, some of those other ones, and Scream was the first franchise that I really got into as a kid. And so it's definitely if it's not my all-time favorite franchise, it's definitely my all-time favorite horror franchise.
Yeah, it's my one of my favorite franchises and my second favorite horror movie franchise after Halloween. But
yeah,
Scream is one of those unique franchises because I feel like there's not a bad movie in this franchise. I feel like even the weakest movie is a good movie. So
I agree.
I'm looking forward to talking with you about this. And everybody, please join the comments, join the chat. Let's talk Scream. And at the end, we're going to talk about, our excitement for Scream 7 and what we expect from it, or what we predict. But everybody, thank you for popping in. Please give this stream a like. Please comment. Please subscribe. And I hope you enjoy the show. So let's start with Scream from 1996. Now, I know we talked about it before, but if anybody is a first-time listener, Todd, how did you get introduced to Scream?
I actually remember the first time I saw it. My sister, her and her boyfriend were having a movie night at the house, and I was 7, 8 years old, I think, when it came out. And I just remember my sister saying, "Do you want to watch a scary movie with us?" And I didn't know really what that meant because I had never seen a scary movie before. And I just sat down and I watched it. And I remember it so vividly just from the first time I watched it because I really liked the characters. I thought that it was really well paced. And for somebody who was so young at the time, like I was, it was one of those movies that made me become a lover of film because I just thought, that is such a cool movie. It's so fun. It's almost like a mashup of different genres with comedy and horror. And it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it takes itself seriously just enough. And I noticed those little things whenever I was a kid watching it. And after I saw it the first time, I just remember my parents didn't really like me watching it. I remember I kind of had to sneak around watching it when they were around. But thankfully, I had an older sister and she let me watch it. So I became a huge fan pretty early on. And so it really was the beginning of me liking filmmaking and liking movie franchises. It also taught me, Scream also taught me about sequels and trilogies, which I didn't really know what those meant before.
Same, likewise here. So, well, nice. Well, my introduction to the first Scream was when the movie came out on VHS. I was living in Oregon, and in this small town, there was a mom and pop video store, and Scream had just come out, and we had rented the movie, and me, my sister, and a couple of friends, we sat down and watched it. My mom was really cool with us watching some horror movies, and Scream was one of them. And I fell in love with it right away. Like, I could still remember the opening, like seeing the Drew Barrymore opening for the first time, and like my first reaction to that, it was scary, and very suspenseful, and it still is, almost 30 years later. So that I remember being the first time I watched it. And I then remember, like, we watched the movie like 2 or 3 times before we had to take the tape back because we loved it so much. So that was my introduction to Scream. So absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites all
Yeah.
times.
I think that you mentioned the opening with Drew Barrymore. That I think not only is that such a great scene and such a like one of the most iconic openings in horror movie history, but just to hear her talk about, because she's been doing it a lot lately since the new Screams have came out, and she's had the actors on her show, her talk show. She's really kind of brought to light exactly how all that came about. Like she was cast as Sydney, and she was kind of the one that her big name was kind of what got the studios to be like, oh yeah, we want to make this movie. And they got Wes Craven, and they got, a bunch of other people involved, and it had a bigger budget than most slasher films. And I love the fact that she said, even after she was cast in the lead, she said that she just had this idea of kind of doing like a Janet Leigh Psycho thing where she is the main star of the movie, or so people think, and then within 15 minutes she gets killed off. And she said that if they do that, she said that it would really shock the audience, and she felt like that this script was special enough at the time. She felt like that they wanted to do anything they could to make it unique and original.
Man, I love that. I thought they did such a great job, with the marketing of this. And like, you have that poster with the cast members on it, and Drew is, I think, like the biggest like image on the poster. And they did such a great job playing it off like she was going to be our lead during the entire movie. We were going to watch her through the whole film. And I remember like the premiere of the movie and her going to that. And then not too long ago, I went back and I was watching some Scream interviews from 1996 when they were doing press for it. And she was doing press for the movie. Like, they did such a great job. Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson and the studio did such a great job keeping that a secret and shocking the audience when Drew Barrymore dies off within, I think, 10 minutes of the movie. It's crazy to think it's only like 10 minutes, 15 minutes of, screen time with her. But she's definitely a big part of this franchise, and her opening is still the best. Like, it's still talked about not only within the Scream franchise, but also just in horror movies in general. So I really love it. And it's a scary opening. I find that to be very, very scary to watch and very eerie.
Yeah, and I also think that she gets a lot of credit for the movie and being a part of it, but I feel like that she doesn't get enough credit for her performance in that opening,
No.
because I have never to this day, and maybe it's because I love the movie so much. It was my first horror movie. I'm not sure, but there was just something, even to this day, when I watch that opening scene, she plays terror and she shows just real emotion that you don't normally see in these kind of movies. And just watching that whole psychological game play out between her and Ghostface, and then to have, after putting her through psychological torture, then having her be murdered in such a horrific way. It was such a, I would like to have been an adult whenever it came out and just
Yeah.
seen it and been able to just take in just how special and iconic that whole scene was.
Agreed. Like I'm the same way. As a kid, I didn't really think too much of it. I just knew it was a great and scary opening and very memorable. But as an adult, like you said, taking it in differently, like her performance is great in the movie, and it just breaks your heart even before her death, like what she is going through because of her acting, because of the emotion that she is bringing to the screen. And it's only, like I said, 10-15 minutes, but she really has a character development throughout that whole time, from somebody who is smiling, happy teenager, to by the end of it, even before her death, like just crying and bringing that emotion and bringing that just heartbreak that we're watching
Well,
to the
it's like,
screen.
yeah, it's like little details, like whenever he tells her that we're going to play a game and he's like, turn off the light, you'll see what kind of game.
I
And
know.
when she's like crouched down by the TV and she's just saying, like, please, and he just keeps ignoring her and she's like, please. And it's just, Drew is really good at playing emotional. And
Yes.
I think that and even whenever, one of the biggest moments that got me in the movie is right after, the iconic shot when he's chasing her down and he stabs her in the chest the first time,
Yes. Yes.
and she falls to the ground, and her immediate reaction is she's just like like she's like looking at her stab wound,
I
and
know.
it's just such a human moment, like, and you just don't get that in too many of those kind of films. And I think it was
I
just,
know.
it really ratcheted up the emotional terror.
It does. And then a couple other things with that, like you have, so it's when she gets stabbed, and it's her reaction when she takes off the mask and she notices who it is. Like we
Yeah.
don't see the person, but she knows who this person is, and it's the terror in her eyes, the shock in her eyes. That is, I mean, that's a great performance. It's heartbreaking, but it is such a great performance. And we don't get her too much in this movie, but that's one of the things that, when it comes to the Scream franchise, people are going to always remember that opening and her performance. And like you said, she doesn't get enough credit for the performance because it's hard,
Even
it's sad.
even when her parents come home, and
Yes. Oh my
the
gosh.
the most heartbreaking thing for me is whenever she's on the mom's on the phone trying to figure out where she is, and you just see her being dragged across
Yeah.
the lawn with, basically, she's ripped to shreds, but she's still alive, she's still making noise, and then they find her hanging from a tree. And I don't know, I think that because Scream is associated so much with having humor and self-awareness and that meta quality to it, I think people sometimes forget just how brutal and shocking that first opening was.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The parents' performance in that scene is just so sad. Like I watched it about a month ago and I got chills, like when the mom is like telling her husband, "Oh, not my daughter. Not my daughter." Like
Mm-hmm.
just, oh, I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about that.
And,
Derek,
go ahead.
Derek, what's up? Derek says, "Oh, this is a great quote. Why don't you know how? Why do you want to know my name? Because I want to know who I'm looking at." That breaks the ice
It
during
does.
that moment. and it sends chills down your spine, especially as an adult when you watch it, because you not only get that line, but you get her reaction when Ghostface says that. Like, that is so creepy. I mean, again, breaks the ice from and thank you, Derek. How are you, by the way? It just breaks the ice from this happy teenager to now she's worried. Like, something is going on.
And then
Yeah.
once he gets to, no, you listen, you little bitch, you hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish. Like it,
Oh gosh.
that moment, like she knows, okay, some serious shit's going down.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Another thing about that opening that I think is like really scary today. I mean, it was scary then, but it's scary now. Is of course when Steve dies. And it's even before Steve dies, like she gives a great line in the movie where she says, he's big and he plays football and he'll kick the shit out of you. Her just the way she's screaming at him on the phone. And then she says, so you better go. And he says, his name wouldn't be Steve, would it? How do you know his name? Turn on the lights. You'll see how I know. Like, you see
Right.
poor Steve just like strapped to the chair. And I mean, you don't get much dialogue from him. You don't really see him too much, but like even the actor or whoever they got to play Steve, like that's heartbreaking. Like that whole opening is heartbreaking. They really got to you during.
Whenever he said to her, because he had tape over his mouth, so you couldn't really make out everything he said, but
Yeah.
whenever he's like, turn off the light, you'll see what kind of game. And then you hear Steve going, Casey, no, no.
No,
And
I know.
it's like he knows already what's going to happen. He knows that they're not going to get out of this, and so he's telling her, don't play the game because it's not going to end well.
I gotta ask you a question. Do you think that Steve knew who the killer was like beforehand? Like maybe like they kidnapped him and tied him up and he got to see who they truly were. Like, do you think he knew, or do you think he like their identity was like hidden the whole time? Like, what do you think? What's your theory on that?
I feel like that he might not have seen Billy, but I feel like he would have seen Stu because Stu selected Casey because she dumped him for Steve.
Ah, yeah, yep.
And so
So,
there's a part of me that thinks that because, whenever he's talking to her at the beginning before he tells her, I want to know who I'm looking at, he says, so you got a boyfriend? And she's like, no. And I got to thinking maybe if Stu was outside when she said that, he might have looked at him and been like, oh, haha, you're not so great now, are you, bud? And
oh,
like she dumped
yeah.
me for you, but now look, she's lying again about having a boyfriend. And I don't know. I thought about all the little details, especially in that opening scene, and I have so much fun analyzing it.
I do too. Like, I would love to have, I don't know if there's a novel of this movie, but I would love to like read the novel and like almost see if they add more to it compared to what we got on screen. Like, you know what I mean? That would be so
Yeah.
great to read. So, but
And the last thing about Steve is really quick. I think that do you ever get those questions from people when they watch the movie? They're like, how, like if you ever watch Scream with somebody, do you ever have somebody go, how did they stab him? Or how did they, like, whenever she turns the light on and suddenly his insides are out? Like, a
yeah.
lot of people are confused exactly when it happened.
I think this. I think the stab happened. I don't have anybody ask me that. That's a good question though. I mean, I honestly think he got stabbed like right when the lights went out. Like, that's my theory. Like, you just hear it and everything. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, well, because they said that he was gutted. And so, whenever, as Stu points out to Sydney when she's like, how do you gut somebody? And he said,
Oh yes, yeah.
you take a knife and you slit them from the groin to the sternum. And I thought, okay, well, as soon as they said, lucky for you, there's a bonus round, but poor Steve, I'm afraid he's out.
That's when they,
And then that's when they do the slit. And then before she turns the light on, it's already happened. So she just sees the aftermath.
I gotta tell you something. So there's an. Do you know that there's an unrated cut of that scene?
I've seen it. It's on VH.
Oh, I have too. Yes. I wasn't sure if you had seen it or not. that unrated cut is brutal. Like you see a lot more of it than
You
you ever
see,
did before.
you see basically his whole stomach fall out.
His whole stuff. Oh my gosh, I know. I would love if somebody would release like a really good transfer of that movie, of that unrated cut.
Hmm.
That's what I was kind of hoping when they did the 4K of it that they were going to do that, but maybe they don't have like a good transfer to really release it. But that is a brutal like unrated cut death. Like you said, you just see all the guts and everything just fall out, and it's scary. I love that opening. It's a great opening.
I did.
Um,
Did you know that the MPA really fought with Wes Craven about giving it an R rating? They were so close
oh,
to. He talked about this before he passed. He said that, especially with the first Scream, he said that the two scenes that the rating system just kept going crazy over, saying, "Oh, we can't give an R rating to that; it's too intense," is the opening scene and the ending scene in the kitchen where they're stabbing each other.
oh, really? Did not know that. I did not. I think maybe they mentioned it in one of the Scream documentaries, but it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, it's amazing that you think of like horror movies in the 80s and 90s, how the MPAA was so strict about things. And then you look at the time that we were in high school and you had all those Saw movies coming out
I
and
know.
Hostel coming out. And I'm like, those movies were so brutal and they still got an R rating. Like, it's just so crazy. So
I,
crazy.
I think at the time they said something like, and this is also a testament to Drew Barrymore's performances. They said it's not so much the on-screen violence in the opening scene; it's the fact that she is psychologically tortured by this guy for
Yeah.
like 10 minutes and then so brutally murdered after. They said it's going to make kids go crazy if they see
Yeah.
something like this. So it's kind of interesting that at the time the audience just wasn't used to that level of violence, and over time we kind of got sort of sanitized to it. I don't know.
So crazy. So crazy. But Derek says, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I hope you're doing well too. We definitely are. And then he says there's no official novelization of Scream. I didn't think so, but that would be so great if we got something like that.
I agree.
Um, so I want to jump through this movie real quick before we jump into the next one because we have 6 of them and I want to discuss these movies with you. We've talked about Neve Campbell and Sidney Prescott as a final girl. And I just got to tell you, she is like, I loved Laurie Strode. Like, Laurie Strode for me is iconic, classic final girl. But I got to tell you, I go back and forth. Right now, I think Sidney Prescott is my favorite final girl because of her story arc throughout this franchise and how she has developed from this high school girl that is terrorized to Scream 5, where even though she has such a small part, like she knows exactly, because she's been through it several times, what a ghost face killer is going to do. Like when she's going through the house and, shooting the doors and everything. She just becomes such a strong character as the franchise goes. And I really love Sidney Prescott. I love Neve Campbell in this role.
We ever talk about one of the reasons why I love the franchise so much is, did you ever hear about how Kevin Williamson wrote her? Like what inspired him to write her?
No.
So I found this out a couple years ago. I was reading some documents that he had written and just some interviews. And he said that one of the things that inspired him to write Sydney was because he's an openly gay man. And back in the day, he was more in the closet and he was trying to make it in Hollywood and he was kind of struggling and stuff.
We
and
did talk about that, yeah.
Yeah. And whenever he created Sydney, the way that she goes from being kind of this vulnerable, scared, teenage girl to, if she's backed into a corner, she's going to come out fighting Ghostface. that he wrote that to kind of parallel his own life with him fighting off the haters of the world and becoming stronger and not giving, a crap what anybody thought. And I just thought that was so interesting because I already loved the franchise, but that just made me love it even more.
It is. It does make you love it even more. And I love that we have Kevin Williamson out working in this business, and he's an openly gay director and writer and producer now. Because, I mean, even still today in the business, not many openly gay LGBTQ plus actors, producers, writers, directors are being acknowledged as much as they should. Like there should be more talk going on. I don't know, like if you think the same way. Like I just feel like, we have people like Christopher Landon out there who's just doing an amazing job. Kevin Williamson's doing an amazing job. There's so many, but there's also so many others that are still like working in this business, but still trying to make it up to that level. And I'm just so proud of Kevin Williamson. Basically I ramble. I'm just really, really proud of him and where he is now.
I'm so happy he's doing Scream 7.
My gosh, like speaking of Christopher Landon, like I was really sad when he didn't get the opportunity to do his movie. But there was an article that did come out that said that because of what happened to Melissa and then Jenna Ortega dropping out, he just didn't see a way to go forward with Scream 7. Like his script was pretty much done and he just couldn't figure out a way to go forward. That being said, Kevin Williamson has deserved this for so long, almost 30 years. And I am so happy that he's able to direct a Scream movie, and I know he's going to do an amazing job.
Yeah, I agree. I think that him having Nev Campbell back to be the lead character and him having as it turns out, there's going to be a lot of cameos that we've heard of. And so I just think that because he created the original, series, the original trilogy, and he wrote the first 2 movies and 4, that I think that him getting to direct this time, I think he's going to bring it back and give a lot of us original fans a lot of nostalgia.
Agreed. I agree with that. Like he's going to do this for new people that have never watched a Scream movie or maybe started watching them after Scream 2022, but this is for the fans. This is for those that have followed it from day one, and I am so excited to see it. Another thing I loved real quick about the original Scream, and this goes in with Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven as a director, is the characters in this movie, especially a group of teenagers in this film. They feel like your everyday high school teenagers that you would see in the school. And that really goes into Kevin Williamson writing them, from the dialogue to the scares that they have in this movie, to the comedy that's in the movie, to their developments. I just really love them. And then, of course, you have Gail Weathers. I just really love the characters and how they were written and how Wes Craven directed these episodes.
I mean, how many horror franchises can you say has so many characters? Because, I know Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, you mostly just remember the villain and the main lead girl. But in Scream, they developed, a nosy reporter who's trying to get a story. They developed a sweet and lovable deputy who, and then to have the 2 of those personalities come together, and then to have Courtney Cox and David Arquette fall in love and get married in real life during it, it just gives me butterflies thinking about it.
It does too. I mean, it's just so amazing because it's amazing to see how these characters' story arc go throughout this franchise. But then in real life, like you said, David and Courtney getting married and meeting on the first one, dating on the second one, and then marrying each other on the third one. Like that is just that's pretty awesome. And then sadly with Scream 4 divorcing, which broke my heart. It broke my heart. I was like, oh, I hated it. Like I really, even when I still watch the movie today, I just know that like during that time they were going through a rough time and that they divorced, and it's so sad. So
And
sad.
and I think that we can talk about this more when we get to it. But I was just going to say really quick, Scream 3. I felt like when you watch Scream 3, you can tell that they just got married, like the way that they are on camera. Like
Yep.
they're everything is new and exciting, and it's everybody's in love. And the fourth one comes along, and they kind of wrote their characters to be at each other's throats more,
I
which
know.
kind of made sense with it. Kind of mirrored reality a little bit.
It really did. I know, it's so crazy. And I think of like Scream 5, they're kind of like I don't know what they I'm I'm pretty sure they're, friends in real life and because they have their daughter. But like in the fifth one, like their moment together, it's so peaceful and surreal when they're together. And then when Dewey passes, you see Gail's reaction, and that's heartbreaking. So, um,
And I
what were you
think
gonna say?
that I was going to say, I think that Tatum, his sister, was one of the best characters ever created for the franchise.
I mean, we got to talk about Tatum because she's one of my favorites too, and I love her. I love her. She has the best quotes in the movie.
She does.
Um, her reaction to things is great. Like it's some of the smallest things, but like the way Rose McGowan is in the hallway and they've had this like long discussion and Matthew Lillard is behind her and she turns around with that sucker and she's like, stupidity league, like just knocking him in the head. I almost want to know, like, did she ad lib some of that stuff? Was that some of that stuff in the script, or did she just like do it? Like
My my
because
favorite
she's
quote.
great.
My favorite quote from Tatum is right after Sydney punches Gail, and they're laying on the bed, and she's like, "God, I loved it. I'll send you a copy." Bam, bitch went down. I'll send you a copy. Bam, Sid, super bitch.
You were so cool. Oh my gosh. Tatum's one of my favorites. I loved her and I love her as a character and I love Rose in that role. And it is just, again, that's another thing. Like, you know that they're probably going to die, but like when it happens to Tatum, I'm always so sad because I just love her so much because she truly is a great friend to Sydney. Like she wants to protect her. She wants to be there for her. Like I really love their chemistry on screen. Her
Yes.
and Nev's chemistry. And I think it works really well. Like I just love her. I love Tatum.
And
So
and to throw something in for the gay fans, whenever she calls Sydney and she's just like, "I'm gonna swing by the video store." I was thinking Tom Cruise and all the right moves.
right
I mean, if you
moves.
pause it just right, you can see his penis. Because
Oh my gosh.
back in the '90s, weren't we all like rewinding and pausing and fast forwarding VHS tapes?
Exactly. I know. We definitely were. And like you like pause the movie and if you had it on pause for a long time, it almost had like a static look to it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She is without a doubt one of the best characters in the franchise and one of my favorites in this first movie. I love and by the way, Chris, how are you? He says, "What's up, Justin? What's going on, Chris?" And he also says Rose McGowan as Tatum is the goat. She is. I
Yeah.
agree.
And really quick, before we move on, we have to talk about Stu, Matthew Lillard.
Stu, yes, Stu is a great character. Obviously the villain at the end of the movie, but a great character and somebody again who just has so many great lines in this movie, like "liver alone," liver. It was a joke, liver.
Then sticks his tongue halfway out of his mouth.
Oh my gosh.
My favorite moment from him is when they're in the video store and Randy's like, "Now that Billy tried to mutilate her, do you think Sid would go out with me?" And he's like, and he goes,
Oh, and that is a great. And not only do I love the video store because it's very nostalgic, but that scene is a great scene. Like their dialogue between each other, talking to each other. It's a good like under 5 minutes. It's quite long. Like the camera doesn't stop. It just almost follows Randy and Sue the whole entire time.
Until Billy comes into the shot. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another character I love is Randy. Like Randy is a one of the best characters in the franchise, and I love him. You know, he's the the film lover, knows about horror movies, and later he would know about the metaphor for a sequel and even a trilogy. And I just really loved Randy. I love Skeet Ulrich in this movie. He is handsome.
All day, every day, daddy.
All day, every day. But like most of the movie, you're like, okay, he's got to be one of them. He just looks like he would be a killer.
He does. He has that dark broodingness about him from his first moment on screen.
Exactly. But then I remember watching the movie for the first time and Billy dies, and you're like, oh wow, he wasn't the killer. So they played that for a loop for a little bit. And then you get to the reveal that he actually faked the death and that he is a killer in the movie. And then you find out that he is the son of Mrs. Loomis and his reasoning for doing what he did.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but one thing that also made Scream kind of special to me is that how often do you see in movies like that where at the end of the movie, whenever he's telling Sydney, when she says, "Why did you kill my mother?" And then at first they just kind of blow it off, but then he's like, he leans into her, and then you hear that sad music playing, and he's like, "Your mother was fucking my father, and she's the reason my mom moved out and abandoned me." And there was a split moment where you did kind of feel for Billy in a way.
He did.
As crazy as it was like that, but it was all in how he played it, and it was the music, and I just felt like for a slasher movie, that's gold.
That is really gold. Like that is gold. Yeah, you do feel bad for him in that scene because he didn't do anything wrong to his mother. He didn't do anything wrong to his parents, and he had to deal with his mom walking out on him. Like it's very sad. And they kind of played through that the whole movie, like him talking about his mom, how she left and everything. And then you do get to that moment where it's revealed why he killed Sydney's mother and why he's doing what he's doing. And then, before we go on, the music is such an important part of this movie.
Love it.
Love the music. Absolutely.
Red Right Hand.
Red Right Hand. The soundtrack is great. The last song when the credits are playing. I love that. Listen to the scream. Listen to the scream. So good. And then the composed music throughout the movie. You were talking about the scene where when Billy leans in and talks to Sydney and reveals why he's doing what he's doing. That score is so heartbreaking. Sydney's theme throughout most of the franchise is great.
Oh, her theme is so good. It's so original, but it's so simple, but it becomes so much bigger as the movies go on.
Yes, it does. It really, really does. And I love the music. I think that composer is coming back. I could be wrong, but I think he's coming back for Scream 7, which is a big deal because he hasn't been a part of it in a while. So
and then to rush through really quick, Dewey and Gail, I just love.
We got to talk about them. Yes,
I just love it that. We'll start with Gail. I know there's a lot of people. I've watched this series with so many of my friends, and most of them, even though they appreciate the character, they say, "Listen, Gail's a bitch." And I said, "No, I get it. She really, especially in the early movies, she does come off that way. But I think that Dewey brings the humanity out of her.
He does. He really does. I don't even think of her that way. I think she's just a strong person and she gets what she wants. That's all. She just
I think it's because of that first thing she says to her poor cameraman. I know you're.
Oh yes, that's bitchiness.
That she was really ruthless at that time.
She was ruthless. So yeah, she has she says some of the not the nicest things, But like deep down, I don't think. I mean, she plays off bitchy, but I think she's just a strong character, and she'll get what she wants. She's like, okay, we're gonna do this.
And
You
Courtney
guys,
Cox was so good at playing it.
oh my gosh, like you got to think. Like I'm in the middle of rewatching Friends. Like such an opposite character
Oh
from
yeah.
Monica. Like, and she did such a great job, especially this first movie. Like, really love Gail Weathers. The moment when Sydney Prescott walks up to the van after the following day being hit, and she says, "Stop right there." Like,
And she's like, she goes, she's still like trying to get a story. She's like, Kenny, camera now.
I know.
She's like, you owe me. She's like, I owe you
I owe
shit.
you shit. You owe my mother. And she's like, your mother was the hottest story last season or last year.
But I have to bring this up. I mean, even though Gail was really kind of mean and ruthless about the way she went about it, she was kind of right because Cotton Weary wasn't the real killer. And
that's right.
She did kind of, she was onto something, and Sydney was so sure that it was him. But it's like when she looks at her and she's like, "You're not so sure anymore, are you?"
And then I love when she turns to Kenny and she's like an innocent man on death row. Do you know what this means for me?
Do you know what this could mean for my book sales? And she slaps him.
And Kenny was a great character. I mean, he wasn't in the movie a lot. I don't think he gets a lot of acknowledgement, but like his chemistry between Gail, like she's mean to him, but like they're just great on screen together. Like I really like them on screen together too.
Even that final moment when his body is up on her van and she's driving away, she's like, "Oh God, Kenny, I'm sorry, but get off my fucking windshield." I'm just like, poor Kenny.
Poor Kenny didn't get anything. Like you just feel bad for Kenny. Like he just was doing his job. That's what he was supposed to do.
Which is what Gail always says she's doing. I like when her and Sydney first come face to face, and Sydney's like, "So if you look at Sydney's face when Gail first runs up to her at the police station before she punches her, Sydney's almost just like looking at her like the audacity of this woman to just run up here." And she says, "Oh, no, it's okay, Tatum. She's just doing her job, right, Gail?"
That's right. I'm just doing my job. So how's the book coming? I'll send you a copy.
Bam.
Love Scream. Absolutely. And of course, Wes, I mean, I miss him every day still today.
Oh, gosh, I know.
He brought us so much in film, throughout the decades that he was making movies, and like really revived, between him and Kevin, really revived the slasher genre and the horror movie genre in the 90s with Scream. Because prior to that, we had the fantastic New Nightmare, but it didn't, fans weren't ready for that. They didn't go see it. And it wasn't until Scream and its concept when it came out that people really appreciated what Scream did. So,
and it's unfortunate because New Nightmare is one of the best of those movies.
Yeah, it's my favorite of the franchise. I love New Nightmare so much. So, but Wes, I miss him still today. It's still hard to think that he's not with us anymore. So,
I know. What do you think the opening title of Scream, when Scream comes across the screen for the first time at the very beginning?
Oh, it's so good. Like you have the phone call going off and you hear like the phone ringing. It's so good. So
and the
good.
Screams in the background.
Yes, the screams in the background. Yes. Oh gosh, it was good. Yeah, I love it. What did you love it?
Oh, I did too. I even love it. Like, this is getting really nitty gritty, but like whenever I watch it, I get chills every time that Dimension logo comes across the screen. Whenever, because whenever you hear it, it's just like, brr, brr.
I know.
And then all of a sudden you just see Scream come across the screen, and it's just like boom.
And I think what it is too is like it's just especially us watching it these decades later. You just know what's going to happen. There's going to be dread with this movie. There's going to be just suspense and eeriness about it. So yeah, I get the same way. Like when that Dimension logo pops up and you hear the score or the music start, it just gives me chills. Yeah, I love that. I'm glad you mentioned that. Mark, what's up, buddy? He says Mickey is still my favorite killer. We're gonna talk Scream 2 in a minute. So
I was about to say it's a good segue into the second one.
All right, so Scream 2 came out in 1997, so a year later. And I hope you're doing well, Mark. Good seeing you, buddy. But came out a year after the first movie. I believe that they said that they literally like greenlit the movie right when the Scream 1 was like doing well at the box office. They were like, we have I don't think it was like a hit right away the first weekend it came out, but like the second weekend, people started getting word of mouth about Scream, and more people went to go see it. And so like the studio automatically like greenlit the sequel. They were like, we got to do this.
Yeah, and I remember specifically, I also remember right after I saw Scream 1, within just a few months, it seemed like, because I didn't see Scream 1 in theaters. And so when I saw it on VHS, it seemed like just a few months later, me and my sister went to the theater on opening weekend when Scream 2 came out. And that was such a fun experience because then I was starting to I didn't really know what sequels were. And she was like, oh, they're coming out with another Scream. And I was like, oh, cool. So you get to see more of the story. And that was the first time I got to see like a continuation of the story play out like that in a movie.
Same here. Like, and this is like totally random different movies, but when I was a kid, I saw like Mannequin 2 on the Move, and I saw Grease with Michelle Pfeiffer, like Grease 2. But as a kid, I didn't really think about it too much. And I remember my mom saying, oh, Justin, there's this is the second movie. There's a first movie out there. And as a kid, I'm like, there's a first movie out there? And I had to go and like look the movie up. Like I was unaware of sequels back then too. Like I didn't really think about it too much. So yeah, I mean, pretty incredible. Incredible. So, but what's your thoughts on Scream 2? Oh, let's talk about this. Did you say you saw Scream 2 in theaters?
I did.
Okay. So what was your thoughts walking out on it or walking into the movie, seeing it for the first time? And where does Scream 2 land for you now?
So Scream 2 has always I know that a lot of Scream 2 is interesting because I've noticed just by following the franchise for so many years, it seems to be the one that critics really like it. Like the critics gave it like super high rating, but the audience has always been kind of 50-50 on it. And so I think that that's interesting because for me, when I watch it now with all 6 movies being out, I really think it's my second favorite after the first movie, just because I think that it kept with the consistent tone of the original. It had just the perfect blend of horror and comedy. And it also had my second favorite opening behind the original, which was the Jada Pinkett Smith opening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this is my second favorite after the original. It's not, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when I watch the movie, I'm like, is it my favorite? Like, because there's just so many great things about this movie I love. I saw this movie again. VHS came out, and I think we bought this one. I think we bought the VHS tape of Scream 2 and loved it right away. Talking about the opening of it, the Jada Pinkett Smith opening that you mentioned, it's the second best opening. It's again, like with Drew's, it's a heartbreaking opening, especially when you get into it and you have Ghostface attacking her and like stabbing her several times, and she is just like pleading for help, and no one is like doing anything because they think it's fake. They think it's part of the promotion of Stab. And then like that whole like moment where she gets up on the stage and she just falls to the ground. Like first she's screaming, blood coming out of her mouth, and then she just falls to the ground and dies. Like, that's scary. It's very sad, very heartbreaking.
It's very sad because it's like out of all the did you notice like from like Scream 3 on, every time that they had an opening kill, it would always end with him raising up the knife, and then when the knife went down, that's when the title would pop across the screen.
Yeah.
And, well, they didn't do that in 1 and 2, and I thought what made those first 2 openings so effective is that you don't get to see somebody just knocked down and stabbed a couple of times, and then the third stab, the title comes across the screen. You actually get to see their full murder play out, and it's just heart-wrenching to watch.
It is heart-wrenching, and those openings, those first 2 openings, like, you really do get a character build-up in those scenes. Like, again, Jada Pinkett Smith on the poster, like, people are seeing her on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so she was a part of this, big part of it. And then she's only in the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie, but she gives a great performance. Like, there's a good, you know, just not really character development, but she's just, you know, the character's written so well. And Jada's,
you feel like you know who she is. Yeah,
exactly. I think that's where I was going with it. You do. You just feel like you know who she is. She's somebody that, like, you connect with and really enjoy watching on the screen. Again, she just gives hilarious, like, dialogue in this movie.
I read my Entertainment Weekly, all right? I know my shit.
And then I love, oh, what's this? Oh, this is a souvenir that the studio Stab is giving out. And it's
white. Thanks.
Thanks. It just, like, walks off. It's so great.
Oh, I'll never forget it's a dumbass white movie about some dumbass white girls getting their white asses cut the fuck up.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
it's amazing that the Kevin Williamson's writing was able to make you laugh so much, even in those opening scenes, while at the same time it ends in such a dramatically horrific way.
I agreed. He just knows how to write that balance so well between comedy and scares. And not many movies can do that. Like,
no,
you know, sometimes when you watch a horror movie and they do something funny, it just doesn't seem right in the scene. Like, there's a couple moments in the franchise where I'm like that, Scream 4, where I just feel like dialogue just didn't really work.
Oh, absolutely.
And you could tell what Kevin Williamson writes compared to what other writers have written in this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But really love the opening. Mark Jones says, I always thought the opening shot of that movie theater in a small town had the coolest look in Scream 2. I love that opening shot too. And I also love the small town movie theater. Like, just the whole atmosphere of that opening is great. Like, the way the theater looks, how it's presented. Like, that is something, again, that you would see in a small town back then.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool just the fact that right after the original Scream, they immediately made a Stab movie, and so you get to actually see, and I think it's so cool because everybody's so familiar with the original opening, so to have them be watching it in the theater while this whole thing is taking place, I just thought, but what I was getting at was my favorite thing about Scream 2, I think out of all the Scream movies, even all 6 of them, I think Scream 2 had the best character development for the main characters.
100%. I agree with you. That is, this movie has, without a doubt, the best character development. I love the story arcs in this. I love where these characters go. I love the surprise that we have in this movie with these characters. So yeah. And then before we jump into more about Scream 2, Omar's death, I think it's the actor Omar. His death is, like, pretty gruesome, like the stab in the ear, like, oh.
Yeah.
And then I love, speaking of her dialogue, I love the scene where she says, give me some money, I want to go get some popcorn. It's like,
you got money.
I have money. I asked for your money. Like I was
And then he mumbles to himself. He's like, cheap ass.
I know.
It's like I love it because she's basically because he kind of drug her to that scary movie, and
Yeah.
so she's basically saying, "Okay, well now I'm going to get what I want out of you."
I know. Oh my gosh. And then the Sandra Bullock reference, like, hey, no one wants to want to go see some stupid Sandra Bullock movie. Like,
Unless she
oh,
naked.
I know, unless she naked. Oh yeah. You go see a movie called Stab.
No, I think this Scream 2 had my favorite Gail Weathers. She had the most
Oh,
depth of any of the other movies. I think Scream 2 had the most mature and, well, I don't know about, yeah, I would say mature. I think that it had the most depth that they gave to Gail of all the movies.
they really did. Like I think this is my favorite performance and of Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers. I really love Gail Weathers in this movie. Um, yeah, yeah, the most mature for sure, and like a lot of like heart wrenching stuff too. Like when Dewey is getting stabbed, and she's in the
Studio.
the studio, and she can't do anything about it. She just sees him. She thinks he's gonna die, and it's just so sad, like heartbreaking. Again, music is great with that. Like I
What did
love
you
the music.
What did you think of the second punch from Sydney or backhand?
I loved it. She said, "Well, I love when she's like, she starts and she says, you,' and she's like, like no, like backs away, and
Yeah,
then
I couldn't believe because she just like walks up to her and was like, "Hi, Sydney, how are you?" And Sydney's just like, "What do you want, Gail?" And she said,
I know,
"She's like, I thought I might get just a few words with you." And then out of nowhere, there's Cotton Weary, and I'm like, "Gail, come on! You knew that she was going to hit you for that."
exactly, exactly. I know. I love that punch was great. It was great. Did you get that on film? Yes, I got
I
that
got
on
that on film. And then Dewey,
film.
whenever he sees her, um, she's like, "Who got punched here again?" And he's like, "Well, I don't condone violence, but maybe you deserved it."
I know. Oh, Sydney, speak to us. Like, just knocks her on the ground.
I liked
Oh,
Sydney's friend Hallie in the movie.
oh, yes, same. Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but yeah, Hallie's one of my favorite characters in the movie. Love, love, love Hallie.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar's in it briefly.
Sarah Michelle Gellar's in it. She
Jerry
has a good
O'Connell.
part. Jerry O'Connell. I was gonna say even the opening of the film, like a film within a film, Heather Graham,
Yeah,
like is playing
Casey
Drew
Becker.
Barrymore's. But yeah, so I mean, all these cameos. Tori Spelling, like it's like a wink to the first movie where they said, "Oh, Sid, who do you think they would cast you in a movie?" She's like, "I don't know, somebody like Tori Spelling," and Tori Spelling winds up in the movie. Like it's just so great. Like little things like that are awesome.
Yeah, you could tell that the budget increased even more with the second movie and just all the extra stuff that they did. The most heartbreaking moment for me in Scream 2 is when he shoots Derek, when he's hanging on the cross.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and I'm just like, and Sydney's reaction to it is because when he tells her, he's like, "I never ever would have hurt you." And then he just dies. I'm like, oh,
I hate when Derek dies because Derek is like that sweet boyfriend that she's always needed in this franchise. And again, all he wants to do is protect her. Like that's all he wants. I love Derek. He was a great character. Like uh his moment where he's like singing on the table to her, like
I love it.
I mean, it was in the script, but I think he ad libbed some of it too. Like and came up with some of that by himself. And I love that. That's one of my favorite moments in Scream.
Well, it's
In Scream
it's
2.
so it's so good because he's just sitting there talking, and then he's like, this morning, I woke up with this feeling I didn't know how to deal with, and so I just decided to
Added to
myself,
myself.
I hide it to myself.
And you see like Sydney going, "Oh no, don't do this," and he don't care. He's like, I'm gonna pronounce my love to you," and I just I love that.
And he gives
Derek
her
was such a
his
great dad.
letters.
And you see the letters in Scream 3. Did you notice that? Like,
Yes, she's wearing them pretty much all through Scream 3.
oh, I love it. I love it so much. Speaking of Sarah Michelle Gellar, I know we're kind of going different places in this, but she again just had a smaller part in this movie. She wanted to be in the franchise, which I love. She wanted to be a part of this, but like she has one of the best kills in the movie, and
Mhm.
once again has sort of a great chase scene in this movie, like with her part as Helen in I Know We Did Last Summer. So
Yeah, and
her scene is iconic.
those movies came out so close together, like within a month of each other.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's amazing. It is amazing to think about that. And Kevin Williamson wrote I Know We Did Last Summer. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I really loved her kill, that whole chase scene, just a moment with Sarah Michelle was great.
It's sad when Randy dies.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna bring that up. That is a probably this for me, that's probably the saddest scene in the movie, especially when you watch it as an adult. Because my only con with the movie is that they kill off Randy. I wanted Randy to survive the trilogy, but what I also love about this movie, it's a con and pro, is that the movie, isn't afraid to take risks. Like it's like, okay, we got you attached to these characters. Now we're going to take a character away from you.
Hmm.
And that was sad. That was
And
a really sad.
Kevin Williamson knows how to do that to us because he did it to Helen, and I Know What You Did as well.
He did. He did. He's really good at developing these characters, writing them so well, and then they just die unexpectedly. You don't think it's going to happen. Like you think there's a moment of relief, they're going to be fine, and then something else happens.
Yep.
And it's just the way that Randy died in this movie, like the whole idea of it's also you scream at the screen when you watch it now, but he's very knowledgeable about horror movies, but the one mistake that he did was he backed up behind
Yep.
or on a van and didn't really think about it, like the killer was distracting him, and that door opens and the ghost face brings the Randy in and starts killing him, like just unexpected, very unexpected.
And let's talk about the killer reveals.
Yes. Okay. So Mark was talking about. Well, first talk about Mickey, because I want to talk about the other one, the last one, last, because she's my favorite killer in the franchise. Mickey is very much like Billy, where when you're thinking about all these people in this movie, you're thinking, okay, who could be a killer? Who is it? Mickey is just like a red herring. It's like, yes, like he just brings off killer vibes in some ways. Like there's a couple scenes where you would not think it, like in the classroom where they're talking about sequels, but like as the movie goes on, like you're just thinking, yeah, like Mickey's a killer.
He has that darkness in his eyes the way that Billy did.
Mm-hmm.
It's the looks that he gives.
Exactly. And then the one thing that they did, and I don't know if you probably noticed this, is not Randy, but Mickey, like there's one point in the movie where he just disappears, like the character just is gone. And you're like, he didn't die. Like, where did this character go? Like, where is Mickey?
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very end of the reveal that he's one of the killers, you look at it now and you're like, yeah, that makes sense, because like he just like popped out, like he just left for a while. We never saw him. Did you notice that when you watched the movie?
Yeah, he kind of, in the second half of the movie, he kind of just falls off, even in the scene where Sydney is doing her acting on stage and she goes behind the scenes and Derek comes to comfort her and she's like, what happened to Mickey? And he's like, we swapped, he had to edit. But you just don't really see him very much in the second half until the reveal.
Yep. Yep. It kind of just was like, yeah, he's probably a killer. And so when it's revealed, I think the first time when I was a kid, when I watched it, I was like shocked because you don't really think about it too much. You're just like shocked and surprised by who the killer's reveals are. But as an adult, you're just like, okay, yeah, like he's less red herring right there. And he disappears and like you don't see him very much anymore.
Yeah,
Um, but my favorite, oh my gosh, you're introduced to Debbie Salt in this movie, played by Laurie Metcalf,
aka Mrs. Loomis.
Mrs. Loomis. And I gotta tell you, when I still watch it today, they did such a great job writing that character. Kevin Williamson did such a wonderful job because one, Laurie Metcalf prior to this, her big role was Aunt Jackie.
I know.
And she was just like the nicest person on that show. Like you just love Aunt Jackie. So then you have Debbie Salt, and Debbie Salt you would just think is like oblivious to things and like not the greatest character, and like she would be the one that would die.
Mm,
Um, but they did a great job writing her because right when it's revealed that she's not only a killer, but she's Mrs. Loomis,
yes.
her demeanor, her acting changes. She's very serious. She's very mean, and just totally different from Debbie Salt. Like
I
she
like
did a great job.
I like her line of when she reveals herself, and Sydney's like, "Oh," or Gail goes, "It can't be. I've seen pictures of you." And Sydney's like, loses 60 pounds and a lot of work later, and she's like, "It's called a makeover. You should try it. Look a little tired yourself there, Gail."
I
I just
love it too.
I just like that phrase. Look a little tired yourself there. It sounds almost like Aunt Jackie, but she is a killer.
Yes, I know. And then like when her showdown between her and Sid, like when Gail gets shot and she falls to the ground, Mickey's dead. She's like one on one with Nev, Sydney Prescott. And she's mean. Like when she's revealing why she's doing what she's doing, like, you killed my son. Like I was just like, wow, like
As
her
if,
performance.
yeah.
You what were you gonna say?
I was saying it does make me laugh, and you see how psychotic her character is because she doesn't think about the fact that she killed him because he killed so many people
I
and
know.
tried to kill her too.
Do you know what makes me sick? When they want to blame the parents or whatever her whole dialogue is.
You want to blame
Oh
someone?
gosh.
Why don't you blame your mother?
Your mother. She's the one that took my husband away from me. Like I was like,
And when
oh my
when
gosh.
Sydney finally fights back and goes into that room and starts tearing the place apart, I was
Oh
laughing
gosh.
my ass off.
I was rolling just recently rewatching it because like you just see like Mrs. Loomis just falling to the ground and like the props are hitting her and everything. Like it just so
And she's
good.
scared. She's genuinely scared.
She is. She's like, I fucked up with the wrong person. Like, she's getting me.
My, when Sydney's got the axe, you know that moment
Yes.
whenever she gets the axe and she's looking through that little peephole and Sydney sees her and she's like, and then she just starts hitting stuff.
And then like when I rewatched it, it's very Alfred Hitchcock like Psycho. Like when Norman Bates is looking through the peephole and he's like looking at Janet Leigh's character when she's about ready to get into the shower. It's very Alfred Hitchcock like. I love that. But yeah, Debbie Salt, aka Mrs. Loomis, is without a doubt my favorite killer. Like I love Mrs. Loomis. I just love the surprise, the reveal, the fact that the reveal that she's a killer, but also that she is revealed to be Mrs. Loomis is great. And then you have oh, what was I going to talk about? Oh, Scream 2. I don't want to forget it. Oh, Sydney Prescott in this movie is badass. Especially towards the end of that. Like her story arc is amazing in this movie. I love that showdown between her and Mrs. Loomis, and she's so
weird.
Yeah. Oh gosh, we got to talk about Liev Schreiber in this movie. Liev Schreiber, like, I'm
Daddy.
glad Daddy for sure. I'm glad he had more screen time in this movie. Like, it was well deserved. Like, he's barely in the first movie, and it's awesome that they brought him back in this film. And
No, because when you watch the first movie, he's just in that brief moment when he gets into the cop car and you see him on a TV screen. And I just like the fact it's almost like they knew that they were going to extend his role in the second movie. And that's why they brought back the same actor, because they were planning on extending it.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And he was great in this. Like, he was great. And he's the one that saves the day. Like, he saves Sidney Prescott from Mrs. Loomis. I love that whole thing too.
When he gets Sydney in the library, and he's like, listen, you drag my name through the mud. Everybody thinks I'm some sort of psycho killer, and all I'm asking for is a little fucking Diane Sawyer interview. I don't think I'm being unreasonable in that request, Sydney. Do you honestly?
and then at the end of it, I bet that Diane Sawyer interview is looking good right now. She says, "Consider it done," and you see Mrs. Loomis look at her like, like goes down. Like, it's just good.
I loved how Mrs. Loomis is like playing them off of each other. She's like, she sent you to prison for a year.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's rather poetic.
Yeah, don't you? Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, she's great. She is great in this. But Scream 2, definitely my second favorite. We forgot to say that every time we talk about at the end of every Scream movie, we're going to rank where we put them. Scream 2 is my second favorite after the original.
I agree. My ranking's the same on that.
By far. All right, so let's jump to Scream 3. So this came out in 2000. I love Scream 3.
I do too.
We'll talk more of it. The underrated one in the franchise, I feel like. Still today, I feel like it's underrated. Like, a lot of people will put this at their bottom of their list, and some people think it's just a terrible movie. And it is far from that. Like, I love this movie. And as an adult rewatching this movie over and over, I feel like it gets better and better and better. Love it so much. But it came out in 2000. This one was directed again by Wes Craven, but this time Kevin Williamson did not write it. Like, I think he was going to start, and then there was things with, I really even don't want to say the wine. I don't want to say Weinstein's, but I gotta say Dimension. We'll just say Dimension, and how they butted heads, and Kevin Williamson was out, so Aaron Kruger came on to write the movie, and we'll talk about the writing in a minute. But I want to talk about, when did you first see Scream 3, and what was your reaction to it?
So, first time I saw it, I loved it. I was probably 10 because it came out in 2000. So I was about 10 or 11 when that one came out. Again, me and my sister, we went and saw it in the theaters opening weekend. It was really exciting because we went to, that theater in Harrison, Arkansas.
Yeah.
We went to that theater, and they had, because it was called Harrison 8 Theater, but the night we went down there to see Scream 3, they had a big banner up that said Scream 3 Cinema. And there was they made such a big deal about it. You went into the bathrooms and you went into all the stuff, and they had decorations for it, and they made a really big deal out of it. And so I remember after I saw it, I was thinking, I thought it tied up at the time, it was a trilogy. And I thought that it tied everything up really well. I thought that it was funny. It definitely had its campy moments, but I gotta say, and we'll get to this later, but I didn't mind the campy moments in 3 as much as I did in 4.
Same here. I think the camp works in this, and I think the comedy works in it.
And it still has that same feel of 1 and 2 to an extent.
Exactly.
It still has the same music, the same score. It has the same transition of scenes and stuff. I got to tell you, if you want me to be honest, after watching Scream 3 numerous times over the years, my only real negative with it is Gail's character.
Yeah.
I feel like that she was she wasn't written the same way as she was in the first 2 movies, if that makes sense.
No, I agree with that. I think yeah, I'm the same way. Like I like her in this movie, but like as far as like writing her writing goes, definitely not as strong as the first two. Yeah, that's my only complaint with this movie. I saw this movie for the first time. So back in the day, rewind to 2000. They probably still do it now, but video on demand was a really big thing. That's when it really started. And you can either, like, if you were staying at a hotel, you can rent movies at a hotel for a certain price. These were like the new movies that had just came out in theaters. But at home, you could do the same thing. And so my introduction to Scream 3 was um, we had rented it on demand. We got McDonald's, we made it a Friday night watch, and then we put on Scream 3. And again, my mom was like, there was certain horror movies we couldn't watch, but Scream was one that we could. Um, and we watched Scream 3. And I still remember it like it was yesterday. Like it was just a really exciting Friday night because we had been waiting for this movie. So I love your story about it though, because I think that is awesome that a movie theater went really big on a movie and like promoted the movie so well. You don't get that a lot these days, like promoting a movie so much like that.
Yeah. And at the time, it just, as a little kid, I had never seen a theater go all out for something that big before. And so it was just like, it was just really cool to me. It almost reminded me, it was funny going to see Scream 3, almost felt like the opening of Scream 2 because of just how chaotic the theater was.
Wow, that's so. And then to call it the Scream 3 theater, like that's so cool. That is so neat. I love it, but I love this movie. It is. I'll just say right now, it's my third favorite Scream movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it goes for me. Like you said, it just I love the fact that this movie flows really well with the first two films. You know, I was going to talk about the writing. Like, even though Kevin Williamson did not write this movie and Aaron Kruger did, I still think that it flows really nice. And if you didn't like know who wrote the movies, you would think that the movie was written by the same person. That's how I feel. Like, if you didn't know anything about it, you would just think that it was written by the same person.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they probably like I think the only differences that I noticed was just that it was a little bit more well, and we talked about this before. Part of the reason why Scream 3 felt kind of different to some people is they because Columbine had just happened and
Yes, yes,
there was
yes.
that whole controversy about the two guys had said that they were inspired by Billy and Stu. And
Mm,
so they told them when they were making Scream 3, you've got to make it a little bit lighter toned. It can't be as graphic. And I always
yes.
wondered why Scream 3 was like the least gory of all the Screams.
Of the three at the time,
Mhm.
exactly. And it still is one of like the ones that's not very gory compared to the other movies. And like the tone is different, like it's more comedic, but like the comedy works with it. Like we'll
Yeah,
just straight up I say we'll just straight up talk about it. Like the highlight of this movie is Parker Posey.
I love her.
I love Parker Posey. When I think of Scream 3, I think of Parker, and I love her. Jennifer in this movie. She is so great from like the very first time you see her in the film, where she walks up to Gail and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Gail Weathers." She's like, "You don't know what this means to me," or something like that. She's like, "I feel like I'm in your. I've played you three times already, and I feel like I am in your mind." And Gail says that explains the constant headaches. And she's
I
like,
know. She and I love it.
"Ah."
And that was something I did love about it, even though I kind of thought that they had Gail's character all over the place. I loved her dynamic between Parker Posey.
I was gonna say that's one of the highlights of the movie is her dynamic and back and forth between Gail Weathers, Courtney Cox. They are so good together. and you really love them together because they're so bitchy together, but they just work so well.
And you kind of, and they, before the end of the movie, they kind of somewhat become friends a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's, well, I'm always thinking about when they're running around the mansion when the killer's after them and they're holding each other's hands. Like, I was like, it's cute.
That's cute. And then you got the moment where after her house explodes and it's the very next day and they're on the movie set. And she's like, if somebody, she's like, if somebody wants to kill you, they won't kill me or something like that. She's like, does that make sense? And she's like, not really. She's like, if I would have, if I, what did she say? Do you remember the dialogue? I'm really bad with it.
Yeah, she said, in the movies, I play you as being much smarter. And then Gail goes, oh, and as a sane person, for you, that must be quite a stretch.
She's like, oh, that's funny. That's so funny. She's like, so what are you doing? You want to get back? You want to get in there? She's like, yes. She's like,
Gail Weathers would find a
way. She just scans the card. And Courtney Cox says, she's like, okay, well, stand back. And she's like, don't tell me what to do.
Even though I didn't really, I mean, I liked her character so much, but like even her death scene was kind of funny. I mean,
it was funny
because she was mouthing off to him right up until the end.
She's like, you can't kill me. I'm the killer in Stab 3.
I will say though, she surprisingly, I didn't expect this from her, but whenever he started stabbing her, like she did put up a fight.
She did. She put up a fight. Like she did a great job. I was also sad because I really loved her character, Jennifer. Like you really grew attached to her. Like that's the one thing about these movies and the writing throughout most of them is you always have like that one or two characters that you really get attached to. And like they're out pretty much throughout the whole movie alive. And then of course they have to die. And when they die, it's just really sad. And I was like, I didn't want Jennifer to die. Like she put up a fight and she was even funny during those last moments, but I hated that she died. Like I was really sad. Because like again, she has some of the best scenes. Like you have the moment where what is it? It's when Candy Darling dies and they go to the house.
Oh,
and she's like,
I haven't had one of these in a year and a half.
Do you know what this is going to do to me, Dewey? And then Courtney Cox pops in. She's like, and you. Do you think I'm
ever going to win an award playing you?
And then they said, oh, and everybody's dying off from the way that they die in the script. And Courtney Gale says, well, who dies next? And I love the way that Jennifer hands the script to Gail. She's like, who dies next? You do.
Yeah, she was definitely one of the highlights. I think my favorite scene in the whole movie is the scene where Sydney walks onto the set of her house from the first movie.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. So much nostalgia and so much the music. When she walks into her old bedroom and you hear Billy's voice, and just whenever they're talking about, about the sex stuff, I'm not trying to rush you at all. And she says, would you settle for a PG-13 relationship? And it almost makes you teary-eyed because she's thinking back to a happier time before everything went bad.
I know. She's thinking of all the dialogue in her head, and you can hear her like quietly repeat some of the stuff that she was saying during the first Scream during that scene. So I love that. It's a sad scene. It's scary. It's intense. I love that is my favorite scene too, is her going on the set of Stab and just seeing everything and like seeing like her room, how it looks pretty much the same like it did in the first movie. Yeah.
Scream 3 has my favorite Sydney theme. I think that it does the best with her theme in Scream 3.
I agree. I love her her theme in that movie, especially like towards the end of the film, where after everything that has happened, like they're back at her house the theme changes a little bit too, because it's a much more lighter theme for, and the door opens and she looks at it and you think maybe she's going to shut the door, and she realizes she's at peace now. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything is gone, everything is done. This was going to be such a great end to a trilogy, and she just walks off. Like she
Yeah.
doesn't have the fear anymore. What a great story arc for Sidney Prescott throughout the first three movies.
And I think Neve Campbell's acting in the third movie, like that final scene, you talk about a showdown,
We got to talk about that. Yes.
the final fight between her and Roman, like that is epic.
It is very epic. And first, I love the fact you kind of like hinted that Roman could be the killer. Like he was one that like you were thinking, well, maybe he's the killer. Then they kind of throw you off a little bit. But the reason why his reveal is so good is you find out that he is the long lost son of Sydney's mother.
Yeah.
And that they are brother and sister. There is that connection there. And then, of course, like you said, you just have that like great third act where they're just going at it with each other.
Yeah, it's not like typical, like, I mean, even in Scream 1 and 2, whenever Sydney fought with the killers, like, you know, it was kind of brutal, but it wasn't like, I mean, this was full out. He was punching her. I mean, like, this was like brutality.
Yes. Oh, I know. What a great ending to it. And like, even like the moment where, like Roman's about to die, and you have this like unexpected moment where she grabs her brother's hand,
and
they just look at each other. Things like that. I just love this movie so much. It's so underrated. It gets so much hate. I do want to talk about this because we forgot to talk about the opening, but Derek brings it up. Cotton Weir is killed off at the beginning of 3. That surprised me when he got killed off.
Me too. And I
did not expect it.
And I also think that is, I enjoy that opening as well. I think it's done really well.
I think it's done really well too. I love it. You're introduced to his wife in the movie. Like her stuff is sad. Like it's not like as impactful as watching like Drew Barrymore or Jada Pinkett Smith, but it's still sad. Like heartbreaking and eerie and just scary. Like
I think what's sad about it is that right up until the moment before Ghostface kills them, she thinks that Cotton is the one doing this.
I was gonna bring that up. Like they introduced a good and clever thing in this movie with the voice changer, and like she thinks that it is Cotton doing it, and you just can't imagine as a spouse like your partner doing that to you, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, because she says to him, he's like, "Why do you?" She's like, She's like crying, and she's like, "Why do you want to kill me?" And then he's
talking about.
Yeah, he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then the Ghostface comes up behind her, and yeah, it's really heartbreaking because he came there and he was trying to protect her, and then Ghostface just kills her off like that.
Yeah, and honestly, if she would not have, I always think of like little things like this, like she whacks Cotton with the golf club and he falls over. And you think if he would not have done that, or she would not have done that, maybe she would have lived longer, or something would have happened because he would have pushed her out of the way or something.
He could have gotten her attention or something. And I think that, it was really, and it was one of those moments where it was the same thing with like the first 2 movies. It wasn't as impactful as 1 and 2, but it's still, because you got to know Cotton in the second movie, it still felt like kind of like the Randy thing. It's like it's a character you're not ready to see go yet.
No, like he died so quick in this movie. It was just unexpected. The fact that like he was part of the opening kill, you just would never have saw that coming. But it was a great surprise and shock for people. I bet like when you watched it in theaters, that shocked you. Like that whole audience probably like just like gasped when that happened.
Yeah, and I remember thinking when it was over, the only thing I was thinking about was I was a little disappointed whenever it was revealed to be Roman, just because I felt like I didn't really get to know his character that well. But when I found out why he was Sydney's brother, that put it all together for me. I loved the story arc of his.
Yes. Oh, and the rap. Yeah, his story arc was great. And again, and it's kind of heartbreaking. Not like what he did was wrong, but the fact that he did have, like, he was brought into this world where it wasn't a planned thing. Um, and like he didn't have a father, he didn't have a mother. And when he finally came face to face with his mother, his birth mother, she shut the door on him and said, that was Rena's life. That's not my life. Sad. I mean, just as a kid, like a child or a teenager, to see that your parent just turns you away, and the fact that like you had like your birth was heartbreaking, and like it wasn't a planned birth. Like, I don't know. I think about stuff like that. Like, I don't know about you, but it's just so sad when you think about that.
I think that's what makes Scream such a great franchise, is because it not only humanizes all the heroes like Sydney and Dewey and Gale and everybody, but it also humanizes the villains to an extent.
It does. Like, there are some villains in this franchise that they humanize. Yeah, and I love the third act. I love the reveal with Roman. I love the fact that he was pretty much from the beginning of all this the one that was planting the seed into getting Billy and Stu to kill Sydney's mother, and it just set this domino effect of then you had Mrs. Loomis and you had Mickey and then Roman, and it was the full circle moment of everything happened because of Roman.
And he even told Sydney, she's like, this is all because of you. And he's like, I'm a director, I direct. And then he said, I had no idea that they were going to make a film of their own. And he's like, what a film it turned out to be, and it's just crazy because that was his sister who he really didn't pay much mind to. All he knew was that she was the child that Maureen claimed over him. And so he got rid of Maureen, but then to like see a horror franchise come out of Sydney and see her getting all that fame and attention when he still didn't get any of that, I can see it's like it almost pushed him over the edge to where that's why he came back in 3 and was like, okay, now I've got to take care of business.
Yep. So I love Scream 3. Oh, Patrick Dempsey, Mark. We gotta talk about him too. Like, love Patrick Dempsey. Oh,
Before McDreamy days.
Before McDreamy. Like, he was great in this. Like, you really are interested in his character. You don't know if he's a killer or not. Like, it's kind of like, is he not? And I really enjoyed his performance in this. And again, I really liked the screen time that Nev and Patrick Dempsey had together. So, yeah, he's great in this too. Like, underrated in this franchise. Like, again, Scream 3 just gets so much hate, I feel like, and it's the underrated like black sheep of the family of the series that I really wish. I think more people are appreciating the movie now, but I wish there was more and more love for this movie because it does a lot of smart things in this movie. And even with us having a new writer for Scream 3, we had Wes, we had this cast, we had these new characters, and I think Aaron Kruger did a great job writing this. So, and it didn't do very well. I don't think it was the big hit like Scream and Scream 2 was. I think it was because we also had the Columbine. Was it the Columbine shooting that happened prior?
Yeah.
That I think people were just not ready to see something like Scream in theaters after that, because that was horrific. Very, very horrific.
I think I do remember hearing that the lowest grossing one in the franchise was number 4, and I think that Scream 3 might have been like behind it. But I remember when it came out, though, I remember it like topped the box office, and it was still there was still a lot of people that were excited for it. I think it was more like the critics that were giving it such a hard time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like, I knew it made money, but but as far as the 3 at the time, like, it wasn't like the bigger hit of like the previous 2. Like you said, I think critics really kind of were harsh with this movie, so It's really sad. I'm glad more people are appreciating the movie now more than when it first came out. Travis Mitchell, how are you? How's it going? Travis says, "How's it going, guys? I think Cotton Weary is the perfect character to bring back. The way his death is shot is quick enough to leave room for him to come back." I agree. I mean, he could have died. He could not have died.
It
Who
was
knows?
that was what we were talking about, because in 1 and 2 you actually saw the full murder play out, but in 3 you just see part of it.
Yeah. So you never know. By the way, hello, Travis. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping in. But yeah, I mean, that would be somebody that they could bring in. So, all right. So let's jump to Scream 4, 2011.
Oh yeah.
So, when did you first see this? And what's your thoughts on it now?
Really quick, I think I want to say, when it comes to Scream 3, I
Yeah.
think I'm actually right there with you. I think it is my third favorite.
It is. I just
Yeah,
love it so much.
but
I love that movie.
there's something about that original trilogy that's always going to have a special place.
Same
You
here. Like,
know? Mhm.
I agree with that. I 100% agree. There's just something special about those three movies. Even when I rewatched them, I'm like, there's just something great about this trilogy of movies. And sometimes, like, I think about it, I'm blessed that we have the rest of the franchise, but it would have been a great way to just send off Scream if
Mhm.
Scream 3 would have been the final one.
Yeah.
Like because again, like the way that like Nev's character just kind of looks outside, he walks off and she doesn't shut the door. It's because she's at peace now. Like there's
Mhm.
some peace in her life where she's not scared anymore. So yeah, I really love that. So yeah, Scream 3 is my third favorite as well. Such a strong movie.
And
So
then back to Scream 4. So I saw it when it first came out. I did see it in theaters, not with my sister. I think I saw it with a friend of mine from college, and we went and saw it in theaters. And I remember the first time I had kind of a funny reaction to it, because the first time I saw it in theaters, I absolutely loved it. Like, I don't know if I was just ready for Scream to be back, or
mhm,
it had been 10, 11 years since Scream 3. So I was kind of excited to see a Scream movie again. And I
yeah,
really liked it. But after I've watched it numerous times over the years, I got to tell you, like, I have some, and it's not a bad movie. I would never say it was a bad movie. It's a lot of fun. It's got some of my favorite things in the franchise, actually, that I'll get to in a minute. But for the most part, I felt like that the writing, which was very interesting, because Kevin Williamson came back to write this one,
yep,
and
yep.
to be honest, it felt as different from the first three movies as you could get,
It did.
in a
Yeah,
way. Yeah.
yeah, it did. So, but yeah, you. So, is it a film that you like really enjoy now compared to when you first saw it?
Yeah, I still, whenever I watch it, like, I usually watch them all back to back. And whenever I get to
Mhm.
the fourth one, I always enjoy it, because it does have some aspects to it that I really like. I think that Hayden Panettiere was a great addition to the cast. I thought that she was really good. It's also one of my favorite killer reveals, because
Ooh,
I actually thought that Emma Roberts did really well in that, like, that final 30, 20 to 30 minutes of it. I actually really liked the direction that it went. And so I enjoyed that. I just really didn't like, there was a couple of scenes, like when the cop gets killed, and
oh
as he's
god,
dying, he says, "Fuck Bruce
Bruce
Willis."
Willis.
And then, and then the other guy, when he
Yeah,
gets stabbed, and he's like, "Oh, but no, wait, I'm gay, if that helps." And
I know.
I'm like, what are we in, Scary Movie now? Like, this is Scream, not Scary Movie.
I know. Like the fuck Bruce Willis thing gets me all the time. Like I just dread it every time it comes on screen because I'm like, oh, I was like that writing. I'm like, that's what I was talking about earlier, where I think comedy can work in a horror movie if it's done right. And it just that dialogue was just terrible. It was just terrible.
Also, the scene where Sydney's publicist. You remember her?
Yes, yes, I do remember her.
When she meets Gail for the first time and she starts going on, and finally Gail's like, I'm about to revitalize your face with my tarnished brand. And then she turns around and is like, I still got it. It's like, that was a little too on the nose.
Yeah. Or your lemon squares taste like ass, like things like that. Like, I don't know.
To me, Gail would have, the Gail from the first three Screams would not have said your lemon squares taste like ass.
No.
Like, that's not her character to say something like that.
No. And funny enough, though, you were talking about how Kevin Williamson wrote it. I think he wrote a good portion of it, but like I think he walked off the set of he left the project.
Yeah.
And Aaron Kruger came in to finish it. And I mean, I really loved what Aaron Kruger did with Scream 3. So, like, I don't know about you, like when you watch Scream 4 and you look at the writing, like I can tell what Kevin Williamson wrote and then what Aaron Kruger brought onto it. Because I feel like some of the dialogue in the movie might be Aaron Kruger. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you think of it? Like, when you look at that?
I think because he did Scream 3, and, you know, of course, in the original trilogy, Scream 3 was the most comedic, and it had the most humorous stuff in it. So I'm thinking he probably added a lot of that, because I know Kevin Williamson didn't write Your Lemon Squares Taste Like Ass.
And I know he didn't say fuck Bruce Willis. Like, I know that is not.
He's too clever in his writing, and it just... and also the thing that bugged me about that was that one of the things I always appreciated about Scream is that it could be really funny at times, but at the same time, whenever people died, for the most part, it was not funny. Like the death scenes, the death scenes were never funny, and so I felt like they were trying to make them more funny in Scream 4, and it took me out of the scene.
It did for me too. Like, I really enjoy this movie. Like, I rewatched it. I said, this is fun. Like, I have a good time with it. But then you get to moments where I'm like, oh, this is cringy. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't like the direction that they took some of the returning characters, like Gail in this movie. Like, I love Gail. She is one of my favorite characters in the franchise. But I didn't really like some of the dialogue that they gave her. I don't like the direction that they gave her too much. She came off as bitter a lot of the times, jealous. And then even like Dewey, like I love Dewey, but I even like his writing wasn't as strong compared to, you know, especially the first two movies.
Yeah, the fourth movie, I think, out of all of the movies, I think that it had the weakest writing for Dewey.
Yeah. But even, and I hate to say this, even Sidney Prescott, like, I'd still love her in the movie. I still think she's great. But I think that when you look at her performances so far in this franchise, like, say what you want about Scream 2022. I know she's not a full, like, focused character in that movie, but the moments that she's in that film, she is amazing in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like Scream 4, like, they didn't even write her as well as I wanted it to be. Like, I don't know. I just think the writing was the biggest problem with Scream 4.
And it wasn't just me. I don't know if you noticed this detail, but when it came to the cinematography, did it not look a little bit like a cartoon at times?
Yes, felt very glossy. That's how I just describe it with friends. It felt very glossy. Like, I was not a fan of the cinematography in this movie. It does not mesh well with the rest of the movies. Like, it feels so different compared to even the newer Scream movies.
Yeah, because one thing that it did not have, when I look at all 6 Scream movies, all 5 of them, with the exception of 4, had a dramatic undertone that actually flowed really well. And it seemed like in the 4th movie, it was just all about getting to like a punchline. It just felt like that they were throwing too many punchlines and one-liners in there. And the thing that made Scream so clever was the fact that the dialogue in itself, the humor came from just the natural reaction of characters and the natural flow of the dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That it just felt off. Like this movie just feels so off compared to the rest of the franchise. And again, like I'll say this, that's my least favorite of the franchise. It's still an enjoyable movie. I still really enjoy the film. I just don't love it like I do the other movies.
Right. What's your favorite thing about it? Like, what's what's
Okay,
something that?
highlights of this movie. Yeah, so Kirby is the highlight of this movie. She is one of the best characters in the franchise.
Hmm.
And I know we talked about how a lot of the writings we have problems with it, but like her character and the way she is written in this movie is great. Just love her. I love her in this movie. I'm a Kirby fan. I love Hayden Panettiere in this part. And like when you think that she died, it's heartbreaking. Like that's the only kill in this movie where I'm like truly sad because I'm like, here you have this character. She's such a strong character in the movie. I love her. And she's trying to protect this person that she cares about. And you think that she has won. And then you go outside and Charlie stabs her. And I'm like, oh, like, it just breaks my heart. And we had to wait, what, like over 10 years to realize that she's still alive and out there. And
I know.
I just remember thinking, like, when this movie came out and throughout the years, I was like, I wish Kirby would come back. Like, I don't want to see her die. And so now we have Kirby back, and I love it. Some other highlights for me, I really love, like, it's sad, but I really love that, Wes Craven, 1, 2, 3, and 4, he directed these movies. He
Hmm.
never disappeared. Like he never stopped making them. And I think if he were still alive today, like he would be a huge part of the Scream franchise still. So I love the loyalty that he had with these movies. And despite my problems with Scream 4, I think he does a great job directing this movie. I really, really love Wes and I miss him. And so he's one of the highlights of it. And Nev Campbell, like I talked about, like she's her the way she's written in this movie is not my favorite, but I really love Nev Campbell in this movie, and I will always root for Sydney Prescott, and so she was great. I do want to say one of my cons real quick. I know it's one of your favorite things. These are my two least favorite killers.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm not. Okay, so Charlie is like one of the least favorites. I was like, he's a dead giveaway. Like he's a killer.
I do
Until
agree
he
with
was
you
not.
on that one.
Um, I love Emma Roberts. I think she's great in Scream Queens. I love a lot of the stuff she does. And like when I watch this movie, like she's not awful. She's good in this movie. I think what gets me away from the film is like it's not even the reveal of her being a killer, it's how extreme she goes to like really like beat herself down like she's trying to like play the victim. So I think the whole idea of like her running into the wall and her, throwing herself into the table, like I think they stretched it out a little bit too much. Like I feel like I was like I don't know how I feel about this. So yeah, they're my two least favorite Scream killers, Ghostface killers. But I want to know your favorite things. What are your favorite highlights of this movie?
Well, I was gonna say, like, I really enjoyed from the moment that they are revealed. I agree, Charlie is definitely a throwaway killer. It's not so much that I loved Emma Roberts in the part as much as I just liked how, like, for example, whenever she's revealed as the killer, and then in 5 minutes, like, she shoots her boyfriend in the penis. And
Yes,
I
she's
was like,
ruthless. She's mean.
yeah, I was like, she's one of the more brutal ones. And so, and I don't know, I kind of liked the whole idea of her trying to become Sydney. And then when they got to the hospital, like, she basically, like, took the whole hospital hostage. And it went into some directions that I wasn't expecting. And so I would say the final 30 minutes is what made the film better. to me.
I
But
agree with that.
but at the same time,
Overall, yeah.
it's like what you said, like there's just so many inconsistencies. One thing I will say is that, and even in this one, I love the fact, and it's a more of a testament to Nev Campbell than anything else, but the fact that she manages to keep Sydney so grounded in reality, even though there's so much comedic, chaos going around. Sydney never becomes campy.
No, she never becomes campy, and that's one of the things I love. And she's also somebody who, I think even Nev says this, like she never wants Sydney to die. And if Sydney ever died in a Scream movie, I'd be pissed because I'm like, she has lived and went through so much in this franchise that I would never want that to happen to her. And I don't think they'll ever do that to her. So I love Sydney Prescott. I love her. Love Nev Campbell. I will say, like, the last 30 minutes are some of the best. Like, I would change things. Like, again, like, there's moments where, like, when I rewatched it, when Emma Roberts is revealed as the killer, like you said, when she shoots her boyfriend in the penis, like, she doesn't even flinch. She just does it. Those moments, I'm like, man, she's ruthless. I think it's more of, like, how extreme she went to injure herself that kind of throws me away from it. Like, I'm like, okay, like you're like really pushing it. Like the stab in the shoulder is great. I was like, oh, that's tough, that's brutal. And like her scream is like crazy, but like again, throwing yourself on a table, I'm like, did you have to go that far to like really like tell people, be like, I'm a victim here, like let's play this off? Like I don't know. Again,
No,
that's more.
I totally get it. And that's an interesting take on it because I've seen the movie quite a bit. And the fourth one is the one that I've always went back and forth on the most on where I rank it. But I do ultimately think it's my least favorite. But it's like I said, I love something about every one of the Scream movies. So it's really, there's not really a bad one to me. There's just
No, not at all.
some are better than others.
Exactly. Like I've said, my least favorite is Scream 4, but I really enjoy the movie. The opening, real quick, we'll talk about it before we go on to the other two, but
I did not like the opening.
I didn't like the opening either. It is my least favorite opening. I was like, who wrote this? Like, I want to know who wrote this. Like, I'm like, was this Aaron Kruger or was this Kevin Williamson? Because either
It's
way,
so hard because you almost think I feel like they thought it was going to be more clever than what it was, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. And like, this is the first time you really don't sympathize with like the kills in the beginning of the movie. It's like, who are these characters? Like, you just, I don't know. I
You
think
don't
more.
have that. I would have had more. I would have enjoyed it more had they done the first two false intros where it's a stab movie and then you're like, oh, that was just a stab movie. But then when it got to the real kill, have that be as dramatically effective as the Drew Barrymore one, and then it would have worked.
100%. Like, have the comedy with like the like film within a film, but then you get to the actual opening, and like if it would have been darker, I'm with you on that. Like, it would have been more effective. Travis says, is it a fair comparison to say Scream equals H2O and Scream 5 equals Halloween 2018? That is a good comparison. I like that because there was that jump. What do you think?
I agree. I definitely see the similarities between Scream 5 and Halloween 2018. I would have to say, though, I think I like Halloween H2O better than Scream 4.
Oh, by far. Yes, by far. Like, H2O is better. H2O is one of my all-time favorites. I'll say I like Scream 5 better than 2018, though. Like, I really enjoy Halloween 2018. I like the movie, but Scream 5, like,
I remember when Halloween 2018 first came out, and you're always somebody that you always try to find the good in everything, but I remember this one hit you hard.
Oh my gosh, it did. Like, that's another video for another day, but I remember I felt this way with David Gordon Green's trilogy altogether. Like, I don't know, like Halloween Kills I love, but Halloween Kills was also a movie I walked out and I was like, do I love it? Do I not like it? I said, it's definitely better than 2018, but 2018 disappointed me because this was the movie where we were going to get Jamie Lee Curtis back, and they said, "Oh, we're erasing all the movies between the original and 2018, even the awesome Halloween 2 from 1981. We're getting rid of that. That doesn't exist."
Yeah, the fact that they weren't no longer going to be brother and sister.
Yes, I was like, sorry I interrupted you, but like you said, like I just when that movie came out, I was so disappointed in 2018. I was like, this is what we got. Like this is what you like. This was going to be your epic comeback, and it's grown on me since I first saw it. But when I first saw the movie, I was like, and I got a lot of hate. I'll tell you this: like a lot of people thought I was crazy for disliking it so much, but I was like, it's just not. It wasn't great at the time for me, and I still have problems with the movie.
I think the reason why people probably thought it was strange is because you, like I said, I've watched a lot of your reviews and stuff. You always try your best to find the good in everything. And I think this one, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is it because this is your favorite horror franchise and you were critiquing it a little more?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. Halloween 1978 is my favorite movie of all time. Halloween 2 from 1981 is one of my favorite horror movie sequels. No, it is my favorite horror movie sequel.
Yeah.
You know, I love the franchise, even when it's ups and downs. And then you get to Halloween H2O, and I just think that movie, my only complaint with that film is it's only 85 minutes. If you would have extended the movie a little longer, you know, it'd be perfect. But it's almost perfect. I love Halloween H2O.
I do too. I felt like the final showdown with her and him in H2O was better than the 2018.
Oh gosh. Yes. Sorry, I interrupted you again, but no, I agree with you. So much better. So much better. And like, you know, we'll get back to Scream in a minute. Like we're going on Halloween topic. Like, let me ask you this. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I think she's one of my favorite actresses. I think out of the two comeback movies, H2O in 2018, the way her character is written and the way it is also performed in some ways is much better in Halloween H2O than it was in Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I think now that the David Gordon Green trilogy is out, Jamie Lee Curtis kind of dismisses H2O a bit, but it's still such a good movie. I love it.
I love it too. She calls it a paycheck movie, and I'm like, no. Like this, you did not call it back then a paycheck movie. Like your performance is that is the best portrayal of Laurie Strode in any of the Halloween movies. In Halloween H2O. Like she is so good in that movie. Oh my gosh. We need to do a topic on that. Like
I have to say something that's grown on me is Halloween Ends.
I'm always back and forth on.
I know. The first time I saw it, I was like everybody else. I was like, what are they taking, a slasher series and making it a Lifetime movie about trauma? But at the same time, I've watched it a few times since, and I actually, to be honest with you, I actually like Halloween Ends better than 2018 and Halloween Kills. It's probably my favorite.
Really? Okay, cool.
And that's crazy because a lot of people just completely dismiss it, but it's one that has actually... my only problem with that is I just wish they hadn't have waited till the final movie to introduce Corey.
Same. I wanted him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted him more in this. Like, I love Rowan Campbell. He's, first of all, beautiful person. I love Rowan Campbell.
Yes.
Good looking. And he was one of the best things about the movie. I wish we would have gotten to see him in 2018 and have him in this entire trilogy. That would have been the highlight there. I think one of our next topics should be talking about the David Gordon Green Halloween movies. Like, go into a little bit more in depth with that.
I would love to. I think that would be. You would love it because you know as much about this franchise as I know about Scream.
I do. Like, And I gotta tell you, my opinions have definitely changed with David Gordon Green's movies. I think they're better movies now than they were when I first saw them in theaters.
Hmm.
So, and Halloween Ends I saw at home, but like even Halloween Ends, like I like it. Like I did not. Did you see my review when I first?
Yeah.
Oh, I was pissed. I was pissed. I was like, no, 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 sir. Like I was like, this is not happening. But
It
I
was
liked it.
such an abrupt shift from what we were expecting it to be. And
Right.
my biggest thing with it, if you just look at it as an individual Halloween movie, it is kind of unique in its own way. But the thing at the time that bothered me was that you had this whole movie, I guess it was like hour and 45 minutes, however long it was. And it was mostly about this Corey kid. And then in the last like 10-15 minutes, they were like, oh, yeah, we need to have a showdown with Mike and Lori.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of threw that together, which it was a great fight scene, but I was like, it just felt so tacked on.
It did. It really did. Like the showdown with Michael, and I don't know. That's one of my least favorite things about the movie. Is like I'm like, and Michael's my boy. Like Michael Myers is my favorite killer of any of these franchises, and oh, we'll talk about it more. I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, they did him dirty. Halloween Ends. But well, I want to do that. We should do that. We need to do the David Gordon Green Halloween movies.
I'm good with, if you want to, I'm good with doing it on our next podcast.
I would love that. Let's do it. I would love it.
Because we're still, oh, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, because we're still in kind of Halloween season, and even if we don't get to it till November, I still think it's a good time of year to review them.
Oh, of course. It's a good fall feel. It has a good fall feel. So, and this is Scream Gay Horror. So we talk horror movies all year round.
Yep.
Real quick before we get back into Scream, Derek says, I didn't like the Scream music in Halloween H2O soundtrack. Yes, like now is what we're going to say.
I was going to say, I was about to bring up the fact earlier that H2O, one of the reasons I loved it so much at the time was because it was made in the Scream era. And so Kevin Williamson had kind of a hand in it. And you could definitely tell it had that Scream vibe to it.
It did. Like, I love the Scream vibe. I'll say, though, like, John Ottman's score with Halloween H2O, like that opening, like, where you're seeing the collage of, like, all the pictures in Dr. Loomis's office, like so good. So good. Now there is some of John Ottman's music that would not work in Halloween H2O, so I can understand where they went the route though of using like the repeated Scream music. But that was the charm back then. Like you said, it felt like Scream, and that was like the era of that time. So I really like it. Travis says real quick, he says, I think you had Corey killing the kid during 2018 night and have Allison be kind of in love triangle with him and Cameron. It would have worked better. Yeah. Like if he would have been introduced early, that would have been great.
I agree.
And he said basically you can edit a lot of ends into 2018 and kills and make it more seamless. 100%. I agree with that. So, but we'll talk about it in our next stream. That'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
Okay. So we're going over 2 hours, but I do want to finish our Scream topic.
Yes.
We are on Scream 2022, or AKA Scream 5.
Which I hated the fact they just didn't call it Scream 5.
I do too, because now you look at it and you're like, every other movie has a number at the end of it, and that's going to be the one when I look at my shelf, my physical media shelf, I'm going to be like, Scream 1, 2, 3, 4, Scream 2022, Scream 6, and then so forth and so forth. We're gonna have that, and it's so funny. People, I think now just call it Scream 5. It's like, it's just Scream 5.
They just get confused when they're watching it, and then just they see Scream come across the screen. They're like, "Where's the number 5?"
I know, right? Okay, so tell me, because it's fairly new. I mean, 2022.
Hmm.
Um, what was your thoughts when you first saw this movie in theaters?
So this one was a very big deal to me because I hadn't
Hmm.
seen there. It had been 10, 11 years since the last Scream 4.
Yep.
And I always kind of, just because Scream 4 was my least favorite of the franchise, I always felt like that I didn't want the franchise to end at Scream 4.
Yeah.
And so after that came out, I was like, gosh, I hope that they come back and do something else with it. And when they came out with Scream 2022, I was so pumped, and I liked the whole idea behind it. The fact that they were kind of doing the whole Halloween thing where they're bringing back, new character, or they're bringing in new characters, but the legacy characters are going to be a part of it. And
Hmm.
to me, it was the first time that Sydney, Dewey, and Gail actually felt like legacy characters.
100%. I agree with that.
And I
I agree.
saw Scream 5 in theaters 6 times.
Ooh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. So my initial thought when I first saw Scream 2022, I saw it with my buddy Lewis, and um, I walked out of the movie with a huge smile on my face. Like, I love this movie. I still love this movie. When I rewatched it, this earlier this month, I was like, this is a great movie. Like, there's something about it I love. I love the opening. I like that the fact that like they played you a little bit, and like Jenna Ortega did not die
Hmm.
in the beginning of it. It is a great opening. It's so brutal. Like, it's intense and it's brutal. Um
It brings you back to that feeling of the Drew Barrymore scene.
yes, radio and the director's radio silence did such a great job with that.
Hmm.
That's why I just put a big smile on my face. I really love this movie. Um it has a lot of like there's some good surprises sprinkled throughout the movie. Like you get attached to these new characters, which overall I really love these new characters. They're great in this.
Who was your
And
favorite?
who was my favorite?
Yeah.
Um hmm, who was my favorite? Well, I really like Jake Quaid until you find out that he's a killer. And I was like, oh, I hated that. Because I think he would have been like the most likable boyfriend, and then you find out that he was just a killer. Um, you know, who was my favorite killer? Who was my favorite character? Is it Mindy, the twin?
Oh yeah, Randy's
I love.
niece.
Yes, I love her in this movie. She's so funny. So, but I also really liked what Deputy Judy's son in the movie.
Oh, Wes
Uh,
Hicks.
yes, I liked Wes Hicks. One of my sad things is he gets killed off pretty early. Like, I feel like they killed him off too soon. Like, and I wanted him to live a little longer.
I
So,
know. I felt like that him and her both, like, their death scene was actually really tragic.
oh
Like,
my gosh, yes.
and Judy Hicks, you mentioned Scream 4. She really annoyed me in Scream 4. Like,
Mm,
I just could not wrap my head around her character. And then in the fifth one, she was still kind of that way, but a little bit not as
yeah,
annoying. But
yeah.
when she died, I really felt bad for her.
I really felt bad for her too because you have this whole we'll talk. I'll ask you like who your favorite character was in a minute, but um, yeah, I really feel bad for her, and it's even leading up to her death. Um, like her trying to get to her son. You have that whole cop chase scene where she's riding down the road so fast to get to him, and then like just out of nowhere. I think this was like one of the first times you see like Ghostface just kill somebody like out in the middle of the day in somebody's front yard where you think like somebody would walk by and like see like this happening because it's your everyday neighborhood.
Hmm.
And I think that was the scary part of it. It was like this Ghostface was not afraid to take it there. Like they were just like, we're gonna kill you right now. Like, we're not even gonna kill you when you get into the house. You're just gonna die right here on the front porch. Like, brutal, very, very brutal, and very heartbreaking. So,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
even Wes's death was sad.
I
So,
know, right through the cheek.
I know. Oh my gosh, I know. Okay, so who is your favorite character of the new ones that we got?
It's probably a toss up between Jack Quaid's character, or no, sorry, Mindy and Tara, Jenna Ortega.
Mm,
Because
mm,
I like the fact that Jenna Ortega, she's such a small, petite girl, but like
yeah.
she ends up kicking some ass.
She does. Like she really, really does in this movie. Like that whole the opening, like she's fighting back. Like she's not giving in. Like she's fighting back just to save her life. And she does it throughout this movie. And then you have the ending of the movie where she's like, I still prefer the Babadook. I was like, you go. I love Jenna Ortega. Tara's one of my favorite characters by far.
Well,
Um,
I loved that opening scene because it's the first time since the original movie where when she picks up the phone and Ghostface is talking to her before he reveals who he is like, he's just talking in his normal voice. He's not,
mhm.
there's nothing menacing going on. He's just talking to her about her mother and that they're in the
Yeah.
same support group. And then all of a sudden his tone changes whenever she says, well, what does my mother like about me if you know her so well? And he's like, well, she says that you like TV and movies. And when he says movies, like it sounds exactly like
Like
Ghostface.
Ghostface.
And it's
Yeah.
so eerie. It gives me the chills every time I watch it.
I'm getting the chills thinking about it because I'm the same way. Like you do have that whole conversation that they're having, and then it gets to that point where his voice changes. Yeah, very eerie. That's a great point right there. Great point.
One of my favorite moments in the movie is when the kind of greaser dude, gets killed in the back alleyway, and you hear
Yeah.
the scream song come on the radio.
Yes, the red right hand. That was
Yeah.
an and that was another surprise kill for me. How early it was
Hmm.
because he's such a great actor. I love him. Um, in a lot of the things he does.
Yeah.
And I remember they announced that he was going to be in this, and they killed him off so quick. Like he did not live too long at all in this movie. Um, yeah, I really like him as an actor. I'm trying to remember his name. Like I'm drawing a blank, but I really, really, really like him as an actor. So, but that was a good intense kill. Like the red right hand pops on, and he dies in the parking lot. Yeah, great stuff. So,
I
wrapping up, you what?
I was
No, what
gonna
were you gonna say?
say my favorite. You mentioned favorite characters, and
Hmm.
this seems it's a little different just because it's one of the legacies. But I think this is the best performance from Dewey.
Oh yeah, my microphone keeps shaking. Sorry.
You're good.
Yes. Oh yeah, Dewey's one of my favorite characters in this movie. Like I feel like and I want to talk about him. I'm glad you brought him up. Like he's the highlight of this movie. I feel like he is really is the heart of this movie.
Hmm.
And I really loved him in this. And so when his death came, because we know him from the previous Scream movies and now this movie, it's just really sad. It's really, really sad that
I
he
know.
died.
That was kind of a negative for me when I first saw it. Is even though I know after a while that they had to, I understand why they did it because after so many films, killing off a well-known legacy character is a way to be impactful because that's what Scream
Mhm.
movies always did. They would kill off somebody that you were attached to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wanted to see more of him, and I also felt so bad because he was living in a trailer and him and Gail weren't together
Yeah.
anymore.
And he still loved Gail and like just oh my gosh, yes, like he still loved her. He wanted to protect Sydney and Gail, like warning them, don't come here, like I got this. Like I just really loved him. And then I gotta mention, this is just a quick little Easter egg. So we're talking about Scream 1 and the character Tatum.
Hmm.
I always found it so sad that in the Scream movies, Tatum was never really mentioned. Like she wasn't acknowledged. They didn't really talk about her. And in this movie, you see her ashes in his house.
Yes, you do, with her name on them.
I know. What was your opinion, real quick, before we go on to the next scream? Like, what did you think of that? Like, Dave, like, Dewey's such a big part in this movie, and obviously Tatum was a big part of his life. Like, she just was like never mentioned. Like, they never really acknowledged Tatum's death too much. Like, she just died at the end of Scream, and like nothing.
Yeah, because for her, like she was such a iconic character in the first movie, and of course, because they were the killers, Billy and Stu get mentioned all the time, but they don't ever really mention Tatum. The only time I can recall that they mentioned her was in the third movie, whenever that bodyguard is in the trailer and Dewey calls him, but it's really the killer, and he's like, what are you doing in there? And he's like, I'm just making sure there's no killer in here waiting out for me like you did your little sister. And that was the only time I really ever heard her mentioned. And also, too, maybe you can give some insight into this, but didn't you feel like the character of Kirby kind of was reminiscent of Tatum a bit?
Mm-hmm. Yep. She was reminiscent of Tatum and Randy. Like, she had a mixture of both.
She had a mixture of both, exactly.
Very likable, like those two characters. They were the most likable characters in the first Scream. But yeah, I love that. But I love the fact that like they acknowledged her ashes with the flower, and like it was sweet because I love Tatum. I will say, deleted scene of Scream 4. There is a conversation that Dewey has with somebody, and they do bring up Tatum. I don't know why they deleted the scene, but it would have been nice to have had that in there. So
I agree.
And then real quick, Scream 5, we got to talk about Melissa's character. I didn't like her too much. I'm not gonna lie. It's not that I didn't like her. I just didn't feel attached to the character too much. And
she wasn't Sydney.
She was not. And yeah, I love the third act with her, but the rest of the movie, I was like, she's a good character. I like the character of Sam, but I don't know. She just was not Sidney Prescott. So
I felt like her, and we'll get to this once we get to the last one, but I felt like that her acting improved significantly from Scream 5 to Scream 6.
100%. Much better. And maybe that's what it was. Maybe she was nervous, carrying on something. We don't know. But yeah, like her acting improved so much from Scream 5 to Scream 6.
So where do you place Scream 5 in your ranking?
Scream 5 is and I hate to rank it so low, but it's my second to least favorite.
Yeah. It's a bit of a toss-up for me. I don't know whether to put that one there or the sixth one there, but it's kind of funny that our
rankings are pretty much,
they
are.
They've changed over the years, but I really, the way that you have been ranking them, like that's exactly how I view them. And I would say the one thing I'll say about Scream 5 is that it's one that I loved more the first few times I watched it, and the more that I've rewatched the other ones along with it, I tend to rank it a little bit lower.
Same here. So I loved it I really loved it when I saw it in theaters, and then like over the years when you watch it, I still love it, but I don't love it as much as I did the first time. So
right.
Okay, so and then Sidney Prescott, loved her in it. Like she's amazing for those small part that she has in it. And Gail, they just kick ass at the end of the movie, taking down Jake Quaid's character and Micah Madison's character. So
really quick, my favorite moment in Scream 5 is when Sydney, right after Gail gets shot outside, and she's like, "Go finish it, Sydney," for Dewey. And then she walks in the house and her theme just starts blaring.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my God. And her going into the kitchen and you realize that that's the first time she's been in that house since she was 17.
Yep. Yeah,
And it brings it all together for me.
and even the house. Let's talk about that. Like, I love the fact that they duplicated that house so great. Like, she was just, I mean, the house was just great, and I love seeing that. But yeah, amazing. I love the movie. Not as much as I did when I first saw it in theaters, but like you, I still love it and I still enjoy it a lot. So the killers would be again some of my least favorite killers of
I
the
agree.
franchise.
Yeah,
I did not want Jake Quaid to be a killer. I was so sad. I will say this. I think Emma Roberts is a better killer than Mikey Madison's killer. Like, I was like,
I agree.
Mikey
She's
Madison, I was like, I love you, but like you full on gave killer vibes all the way.
and she was a little too screamy for me. She kind of screamed and carried on just a tad too much.
Yes, 100%. I agree with that. So you know what, Emma Roberts, Jill, ranks kind of like in the middle for me, I guess. Like when we look at them all. Um, okay, so Scream 6. Uh, First thoughts when you saw it, and what do you think of it now, like 2 years later?
I have come to appreciate it more. I really enjoyed it the first time I saw it. I was a little, well, and it wasn't really any one thing that got to me. It was more just I missed Sydney not being there. I liked the fact that they brought the other characters in and did like the core four thing. I thought that was really nice. Um,
Yeah.
I like that they brought Gail back and the fact that they went to New York City. I will say this: a lot of times when they take a horror franchise to like New York or something, it can
Uh,
get cheesy. But I felt like that they did a pretty solid job at wrapping up. I felt like that this Scream, even though it didn't have some of my favorite characters, it had some of the most epic set pieces and chase scenes.
yes, 100%. I was gonna get with that too. Real quick, I'll say, Travis, we'll get to your comments real quick. He says, and something. Oh no, let's go back. Go back. Let's see. Having seen many legacy sequels where old characters are killed off or put in weird places, I actually think that horror otherwise this one does it best. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Scream 5 did it best for sure. Um Travis says, in something like Ghostbusters Afterlife, when Eong dies, it feels so cheap and disrespectful to me. Same with a lot of characters in Halloween Kills. Dewey's death felt necessary. Like he died heroically.
He did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
I loved Ghostbusters Afterlife. I thought it was great. Uh,
I did too.
and then Travis says, I think the moment he dies with the phone going off deflates it a bit. I think it may have been a great moment to reveal the second killer. He's focused on Ghostface 1 and it stabbed by the second. Yeah. Like, I guess that's my only thing, too. My only thing with Scream 5, too, and Dewey's death is, you know, um, you always want to shoot him in the head because that's the way you know that they died. And when I rewatched it the last time, I was like, why did you not think of that the first time? Like you took down this killer was to
You've
shoot.
been through this so many times before.
And I'm like, he's like, oh wait, I always forgot you have to shoot him in the head. And I'm like, no, like I'm like, oh my gosh.
And I agree with what Travis said about the fact that the whole phone thing going on. I wish that it had been something different than the phone ringing.
Same here.
I,
Same here. I agree with that.
and the fact that it was Gail calling him, it makes you kind of think it was her fault, you know?
I know.
But
When she found out that Dewey died, that was heartbreaking in that movie.
that
So
was
sad.
such a, I will say this, that was such a nice moment for her and Sydney to come back together and just be really, that was the first time you really saw them as friends.
You really did. Like you really did see him. This was the first time you really saw them as friends because somebody that they both died, somebody that they both loved had died and they had to come together. So
Mm-hmm.
and then Travis says Sam's performance is a lot like Hayden Christensen from episode 2 to episode 3. Agreed.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's jump to Scream 6. The first time I saw this one in theaters, I left a little disappointed because I was like, I really love Scream 5 so much. I think it was like the killer reveals, which they're not my favorite reveals in the in this franchise. I like the setting and the set piece, but they're not my favorite reveals. I don't know. There was just something about it. The first time I saw it, I said, this is weaker than Scream 5. Now that I've seen it 2 or 3 times after my first experience, I love it. I think it's a great movie. I really do.
The fact that we know now that I think I love it more now that we know that Scream 7 is going to bring back Sydney and we're going to have that, nostalgia that we love so much and that her story's not over. I judged it more at the time because I kind of felt like it was kind of just a weak send off for her. Like she had, like I remember Gail told them, they're like, oh, I talked to Sydney and she's doing well, but she sends her love and she deserves to have her happy ending. And I just thought, I was like, I don't want that to be the end of Sydney.
No, and I didn't want it to be the end of Sydney either. Like I was like, that's not the way I want them to send her off. But like you said, I love normally when they take a movie out of a setting that we know, it doesn't work. And I feel like they did a great job with the New York setting. I like some of the chase scenes in this movie. I love the whole Scream Shrine. I thought that was a great thing. Like I thought that was really cool. The old theater that's like run down, like love that.
They brought back Kirby.
And I love Kirby in this. I really love. Oh, I love her so much. I'm so excited. I don't know how they're going to bring her into it, but I am excited that she's coming back for Scream 7. Mm-hmm. Please don't. I hope they don't kill her off. Let's not kill Kirby off. Let's not let it be like a kill, idea. Like, let's not do that. Please don't. But there's a lot of things I love about this movie.
What do you think about the opening in this one?
Great opening. Like, it surprised you because it kind of, you think it's going to like end when Samara Weaving's character dies.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's gonna be the killer. Like they take off the mask. I was like, oh, that's different. They've never done that before. And then you do get like the little like extended opening where he winds up dying off and his friend winds up dying off, and they are not Ghostface in this. So pretty cool. And then I also love the wink that they gave Jason Takes Manhattan, where they showed the movie in the background. So, yes. And I'm a fan of that movie, by the way. I love it. So
it's been so long since I've seen it.
It's a nice little wink there. I thought that was a good touch with New York. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I did. What do you think of the opening?
I liked it. Yeah, same with you. I thought that when Samara Weaving got killed, it was almost like when he raised up the knife, you just expected Scream 6 to flash across the screen. But then it didn't. But it didn't. And then he just sits there and looking at her. I'm like, oh, this is different. And this is what I like about Scream 6. I like the fact that for it to not feature, with the exception of Gail, it doesn't have a lot of the legacy characters in it. Mm-hmm. I still like the fact that they just kind of went all out and made it big.
They did. They really made it big. And that's one of the things that I do love about it. Like, another thing that I want to mention is like, I miss Sidney Prescott in this movie. Like, it's the first film that we've not had Neve Campbell. But I think they did an overall really good job continuing this franchise. Because one, I think Sam is much better in this movie. You really like her in this movie compared to Scream 5. And I think she did a much better job.
I agree.
I love her relationship with her sister in this movie. Like, they have that rocky relationship in the beginning, but as the movie goes on, they're strong together. They're sisters. They fight together. And I love that. There's some of the highlights of this movie is Sam and Tara's character. Like, their characters are great. Love them, especially the third act. They're just awesome.
If I had to nitpick anything, to be honest, it would be, I feel like that this movie, out of all the Screams, there was a few too many kills where I felt like people were stabbed an ungodly amount of times
And didn't die.
and didn't die. I just thought they went a little crazy with it.
That was like one of my nitpicks too. As I look at him, I love Mason Gooding. Like, he's easy on the eyes. I love him. But like, he got stabbed a lot. Like, how is he surviving all of that?
By two killers.
By two killers. Like,
yeah.
And stabbed several times. And then you have Mindy's character where she is like stabbed on a train or a bus. Yeah. And like, he's like really digging in there. Like, her girlfriend died the same way and she died. Like, I don't know. It's, well, the girlfriend died because she got flipped over on the ladder. But anyway, it's like, Mindy, you think would have died and she didn't die. Like, it wasn't just like a quick stab. It was like he dug in there. Like,
I know, right? Like, it was like really like, and I feel like that one thing I'm excited for with Scream 7 is Kevin Williamson said in an article that one of the things he was going to do that was different with Scream 5 and 6 is he was going to tone down just like, not necessarily the gore, because they've always been gory, but he was going to make the kills a little bit more realistic than what they had become, which I appreciate. Yeah.
Me too. 100%. But yeah, that's one of my gripes. And then like my other gripe would be like, I really like, the killers have grown on me a little bit, but it's my issue with Scream 5 and 6 is like the reasoning why they're doing what they're doing. It just seems a little like pushed. I don't know. Like, when you watch it, I compare Scream 2 to Scream 6's killer reveals because it's very similar. And I just don't think it's as strong as like Debbie Salt. Like, she's like just amazing. And then you have the family of Jake Quaid's character. And I'm like, I don't know. I still have mixed feelings a little bit on them. Like, Scream 5 and 6, I just feel like the reasonings for what they do, it's just not very strong. I don't know. Or it's just not executed as well as it should be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that the new ones definitely got everybody excited for the franchise again and got everybody really involved in the stories and the characters. But I think it's probably because we grew up watching the original trilogy so much. And I think that whenever we compare like just the seamlessness of those early years to like the newness of now, it's kind of like we're always kind of critiquing like even the little things. But I agree with you. I think that 5 and 6 definitely feel like that they're a little bit separated, but I hope that Scream 7 brings them all together.
I agree. And that's where we can like wrap this up. And before we wrap it up and talk about Scream 7, is Travis has some things to say. Let's see. Thank you, Travis, for all the comments. We appreciate it. But Travis says there's a pretty underrated movie called Judgment Night. I
love that movie.
I love that movie too, where he says very reminiscent of especially the ladder across the two buildings. I remember that. I agree. I love that movie. Then he says, while a hard pill to swallow for fans, I think it is time just as, if not more, respectful to the characters to let them live outside of the movies as well as in them. Agreed. And then with the killer reveal, I was like, hey, it's Gavin, Rachel's ex from Friends.
That's true.
True that. All right, so wrapping this up, I can't believe it's been 2 hours and 30 minutes. It feels like we've had so much fun tonight, like we always do with these streams, but this has been great. I love this.
I do too. I get it more excited each time because I'm just like, oh, we're gonna really dig in to the I'm excited to do Halloween. I'm excited to talk about this. Everything.
So excited. Same here, buddy. Let's talk about within this like last couple minutes. Let's talk about Scream 7. Like, it's hard to say like what do we predict from the movie, but like what are you what are you more excited about with Scream 7? Next to Nev.
So yeah, definitely Nev coming back, and I like the fact that I'm excited that we're actually going to get to see Sydney with her kids and her husband. I'm
Yes.
I'm so happy that they cast one of the Yellowstone spinoff 1883. One of the actresses from that show they cast as Sydney's daughter, and I really like her, and so I'm hoping that she does a great job. I'm glad that they're bringing back their Mason Gooding and the girl that plays Mindy.
Yep.
I'm glad that they're going to be because I feel like with Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera not returning, I want there to be still some connection to 5 and 6. And I think that,
100%.
yeah, and I feel like bringing those two characters back, Mindy and Chad, I think that that'll help kind of bring it all together. I also think that we might get a flashback to Roman putting Billy and Stu up to killing Maureen.
I think we'll get that too. I'll get that too. I'm really excited, like you said, for Sydney to one be like the center character in this movie. It's a Sydney focused film, and I love that. I'm excited to see her kids and her family with Mark. Excited for these returning characters. I love the fact that we really don't know anything about this movie except for what they've revealed. I love that Kevin Williamson is finally getting like what he's deserved almost 30 years, and that is finally directing a Scream movie. I'm so happy with that. We're also getting the writer coming back who wrote Scream 5, 6, and now 7. So they are bringing back him, which is great. I'm just really excited for this. I cannot wait. I'm more excited for this, honestly, than I was with like maybe the last two Scream movies. I don't know. Mo,
I
Scream
definitely
6.
am. Yeah, I definitely am, especially for Scream 6, because I knew that there wasn't going to be as many actors in Scream 6 as what there had been in the previous. So that kind of took me out a bit. But with Scream 7, they're even going to bring back, I mean, they're not bringing anybody back from the dead, they say, but they're also, Dewey's going to be in it and somehow.
I know. Like that's what I'm really excited about. Like, how are they going to bring these characters back into this movie? Because they're bringing back a lot, but I have faith in it. I really do, because you have Kevin Williamson, who I know would never want to make a movie where it just felt bloated and like it was just like throw these characters in to throw them in. Like, there's a reason why we're getting these characters back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that I think him having the direction this go around, I think that he'll be able to direct the writers into where to take the characters to make it feel authentic. And he created the characters originally, so he's going to know how he foresees them being in their adult years.
Exactly. But no, I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait. Travis says, with all the characters coming back, do you think Scream 7 will be all about actors instead of characters? No, I think there's, like we just talked about, I think because Kevin Williamson is on board, and Todd, you mentioned this, like he's really going to be hands-on to say, you know, like we got to make it authentic. It's got to be authentic, and it has to work. We just can't throw these characters in. So, but I'm excited to see Kirby coming back. I wonder how she's going to play into it. Like, very excited.
Matthew Lillard is coming back.
Matthew Lillard is coming back. So, I mean, we just got a lot, and I'm so excited we don't know a lot about this movie. Like, you know, sometimes they can like leak things and like you find out about it before the movie comes out. Like, I'm so glad this is like pretty much top like secret. No one really knows anything. McKenna Grace is doing interviews for her new movie. She's one of Sydney's daughters, and they recently talked about it, and she really is like, she's like, I can't say much about this. Like, I gotta like keep it quiet. Travis says it is strange that Con Weary isn't back in some capacity, giving everyone else. He might come back. You never know.
That might be the surprise.
That could be the surprise.
I really thought there was going to be a trailer come out this month, but I guess it's going to be a little bit longer.
I think they said November. We're going to get in November. Fingers crossed. And Travis says, I do speculate AI may be a plot point in the movie. Perhaps there's an algorithm made so Randy can kind of help the new characters in present day.
That's an interesting take.
I like that take. Very interesting. So I think AI will definitely play a little bit into this for sure. So really excited to watch Scream 7. And of course, when the movie comes out, we'll be doing a long review talking about it. We have to do this.
Oh, yes, we have to.
So, but anyway, bud, I think this is our longest show. This is our longest show.
And it went by the quickest.
It went by the quickest. I had so much fun. One, I always love talking with you, but like talking about Scream, we have the same love for it, which is awesome. And it's a blast talking with you all the time. But I wanted to say, so here's my ranking of the Scream movies.
Okay.
Scream 4, my least favorite. Scream 5, I love it, but it ranks in the bottom. Scream 6, Scream 3, Scream 2, and the original being my favorite.
I gotta say, I think that mine's actually the same after we've been talking and everything.
Love it.
It's went back and forth so much, but yeah, I agree. Like now that we've really broken it all down, it's just one that changed was I used to have 3 a little bit lower, but I've come to appreciate it so much more over the years that I put it higher up.
One that's changed for me the most is 5 and 6. 5, I used to tell you, I would say, oh, it's my favorite, like out of the 2 new ones. But Scream 6, there's just a lot more there for me. Like, and I think Melissa, by the way, she does a much better job in Scream 6 than she did in Scream 5. And I love the third act. So,
yes,
hands down with her showdown. So, before we wrap it up, do you have anything else you would like to say, Todd, or anything you want to say to anybody, or any last words?
Yeah, I'm grateful for everybody that tuned in, and I hope that you guys were entertained by all of our Scream talk. And I'm looking forward to, we may have to, when we do our next podcast, if the trailer for Scream 7 has come out, we may have to briefly talk about it a little bit.
Oh, we will. We will. So, and we didn't get time to do it today. Let's briefly talk about it. Briefly talk about it before we go. We both have seen Shelby Oaks and Black Phone 2. We talked about it briefly before we went on. So what are your quick initial thoughts of both movies?
Black Phone 2, I really enjoyed it. I felt like that it was scary and that it kept with the tone of the original. I think out of the 2, I probably preferred the original one a little bit more, but they're pretty well on the same level. And then Shelby Oaks, loved it. I'm a big fan of Chris Stuckman, so I was there to support him. I loved the movie up until the last 10 minutes, and I wish that they had extended it and gave it a better payoff.
Yes. I'm with you with Shelby Oaks. I loved it up until the last 15 minutes, and then I thought it could have had a better payoff, like you mentioned, but very impressed with the movie. Love Chris Stuckman, huge fan, and like I've always been a fan of his ever since 2009. And so I'm happy that we have a YouTuber in the community who has now directed a feature film. So I love that. Mia was the actress who played Mia was great. So overall, very impressed with it. The last 15 minutes could have been better. And Black Phone 2, I loved. I loved it. I mean, I loved the first one. I like this one better. I truly think the movie was scary at times. Like the dream sequences were very scary. And I loved the performances between Gwen and Finn. Like they were just great in it. So, but let's wrap it up. Todd, as always, such a pleasure talking with you, bud. I love doing this with you. And this was probably my favorite episode. This
it was definitely mine. I was the one that we did about the 90s thrillers and stuff was up there, but Scream's everything to me, so I love talking about this.
Same here. And I always just love talking with you, Todd. It's always such a joy to talk with you, and I'm blessed to have you in my life, my friend.
Oh, I feel the same way.
Thank you, bud. So real quick, Derek says, haven't watched Black Phone or Black Phone 2 yet. I'll have to check them out. Please do so. Let us know what you think of them, Derek. Okay, everybody, we're going to wrap this up. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Have a great week. Our next episode will be on the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy. We'll plan that in November. And I hope everybody has a happy Halloween. So,
yes,
happy Halloween to you all. Enjoy your week. And Todd, have a happy Halloween, but enjoy your Halloween party coming up. So,
thank you. You too.
All right. Everyone have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you soon. Much love to you all. Bye, everybody.
Bye.